10 Cats. Jack's back. It's Jack D. Winkle Toes. It's Claudia Winkleman. And their team captain, Sean Locke. And facing them tonight, his eyes are smiling. It's David O'Doherty. Hurly Whirly. It's Josh Whitcomb. And their team captain, John Richardson. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy
Welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, cat owners are 30% less likely to have a heart attack? And that, lonely ladies living on your own with no family, partner, friends or love life, is the good news. Walking sideways burns 78% more calories than walking normally, which is why you never see a fat crab. And 35% of women would hate their partner to see their underarm hair, so they hide it under their nose and poking out of their knickers. Right, let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. It's our panellists' job to guess the British public's top 3 most popular talking points. Sean, Claudia, Jack, what have the nation been talking about?
You thought anything? What's happened to you?
The horse sandwiches.
Oh, the horse sandwiches.
They've been talking about horse.
The horse sandwiches is a really nice way of putting it.
I'd love a horse sandwich. Who doesn't? Yeah, but it was the burgers and they got tested and it's full of horse and badger.
Don't know if there was badger in it, but there was definitely... And it happened in Ireland, didn't they? They tested the burgers and they said this has got... It's 30% horse was one of the burgers.
Good.
Have you eaten horse?
Yeah, I've eaten horse, yeah. What? I've eaten horse.
Where did you eat horse?
Where do I eat horse? In a horse restaurant. Have a horse salad. I like it in a salad, just a big lump of horse on the top. Okay, I like salad niçoise where you have a piece of tuna. I just have salad, a big lump of horse on the top.
You said that the people who kind of made the horse burgers...
Yeah.
...said it was a mistake. It can't be a mistake. How do you unless they've mistaken a horse for a cow?
I think it's a bit more like, you know when you get dolphin in tuna?
Oh,
you know,
we're back to tuna again.
Yeah, and you know when you catch your cows, you go out into the field with a big net to catch a load of cows. and you occasionally you'll get a couple of horses.
Yeah. So that's why if you buy a burger, you should always get a horse-friendly burger.
Yeah. So you throw the net over and you drag them all off to the squashing plant. They just squash them flat, the burgers.
In fairness, what has happened, right? I mean, OK, some of the burgers were 29% horse, and that is a lot of horse in a burger. If you're expecting it to be a burger, you could eat a horse and cart, and it wouldn't be 29% horse. In fact, though, some of them were only like 0.01%, and they said it wasn't necessarily horse meat. It wasn't like strands of horse that you pull out between your teeth. It was horse DNA. And that could be anything. And I'll stop you there, Jimmy. What that could have been, that could have been the horse in the field who said, "Where are my mates gone?" And all the cows, I'm going to follow their footpath and I'm going to find them. And they follow them all the way into an abattoir and see that they've been turned into burgers. And the horse just cried into the burgers. That is enough to have horse DNA in your burger. That's what probably could have happened.
Yeah.
I don't think it stacks up.
Horse is the very best thing to have in your burger. I mean, the shit that goes into, like, 8 burgers for 30... Like, the prices at Aldi and Lidl, I wouldn't be surprised if there was horse meat in their bananas.
Well, now you're saying...
Just feel shit. There's 3% jockey in those Tesco burgers. Just fucking grinding stuff in.
There's also a case of, they haven't tested haggis. I mean, what's in that? I would say a punt on at least 5% meerkat. I think all this fuss about horse burgers, do people know about glue? Do they know what's in glue?
Good point.
It's horses. Your Pritt stick is probably 25% Shergar.
The imagination that came up with the idea, when you look at a horse, that would be sticky.
Yeah.
If you if you do the right things to it. And why just horses? You know, people look at cows and it's not going to work the same way. Horse.
It's a similar one with lobsters, actually. You know, you imagine the person who first dredged up probably the scariest looking animal on the earth from the bottom of the sea and went, you know what? Let's boil that alive and have it for a starter. Be delicious.
What's the weirdest meat you've had?
I've had reindeer, delish,
Yeah.
until my kid said, you ate Rudolph. I was like, are you still believing in Rudolph? He's 18. And... but I'd eat anything. Hamster.
Is there anything? Is there anything at all? I didn't say anything. Want to be good.
Don't be ridiculous. I'm Jewish.
If you eat meat all the time, the chances are, like every football game you go to, some bloke comes up with a caravan that he's stuck a grill in, and he goes, you want meat? And you just go, yeah, it's £2, and then you eat it. You don't know what's in there. Could be bloody anything, couldn't it? They did investigations at all the football grounds, and one of the things I read was Swansea City were selling out-of-date pate. I just thought, what's happened to football? Swansea City fans at games going, Bryn, does this pate taste like to you? It's a bit tart. I can't tell if that's because the apricot's clashing with the cardamom or if it's...
Let's have a look and see if horse sandwiches is up there. Yes, indeed. People have been talking about there are traces of horse meat have been found in several supermarket burgers. Silvercrest Food, one of the suppliers of the horse meat contaminated burgers, is said to be an award-winning company. And it turns out the award they won was the Grand National in 2012. John Steen, what else have the nation been talking about?
Is it Splash?
Oh, come on.
I've been talking about it.
Have you not been watching Splash?
Well, no, not all the time. I've been doing other things as well.
I watched it because I got told it was the worst thing on telly ever, and it just wasn't. It was just people splashing in a pool a bit.
It's Eddie Eagle in a mankini, jumping off a diving board. What is not to like?
What's not to like?
He went through, right, and he said, now I've gone through, people are going to rethink that I'm a loser. I'm not watching that, Eddie. No one was looking at that going, there's one of life's winners.
Oh, no, that was... I'm sorry, did we watch the same thing? I thought that was amazing.
That was phenomenal.
That was phenomenal. He got, #1, he made it all the way up there, which I couldn't do.
He used to be a ski jumper.
It's a good point.
Yeah. It's a lot more scary. It should be called Strictly Come Gravity. It's they found something any celebrity can do, which is fall off things.
Well, I beg to differ, Sean. Have a look at this. Not every celebrity can do it. I thought we couldn't top the Olympics. But they've absolutely nailed it, haven't they?
That was her goal, because at the beginning, she couldn't even jump in. They had to tip her into the pool.
You know when the Americans buried Bin Laden at sea? That's how I imagine it looks.
Do you know what that reminded me of? You know sometimes when you've got a tin of condensed soup and you tip it in the pan and it comes out in exactly the shape of the can?
It's an extraordinary thing to do that. Well, she must have known that she was scared of heights and didn't like water. And really, that show is very much about heights and water.
I think it's a shame that her fear of heights isn't as powerful as her love of humiliation.
They all look, when they dive, because they're not used to it, they get ready to dive and they get in a position, and then they look like they've been shot. All the life goes out of their body and they just fall into the water. It's just like watching celebrities being executed.
That is also why I like it.
That's what they should do. I like it, the show, they had no water.
That's it, yeah.
And it was called Splat. They just go...
It would be impressive if you were so sad about the way your career was going. When you stood up top, there was no water in it initially, but you wept as you fell. And then you rose back up again.
does it... Because I haven't watched a whole episode of it. Do they build a narrative in and do people give interviews and say, oh, I've always wanted to dive and my nan's in hospital and...
Oh, there's tragic backstory, yeah. There's loads of tragic backstory, yeah.
It's all about a verruca they had once.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really worried about going into the pool because when I went to the pool when I was 14, I got this verruca and it was getting me awake a couple of nights. So I don't know if I can go back in there. And the teacher, he's a bronze medalist. He's not even any good at it.
He's the third best in the world. I must say, I love Tom Daley. I think he's amazing. He's great.
He did well.
Third. In the world.
He's a diver.
It's not his fault.
Everyone got I got a bronze medal in the Olympics for putting some litter in a bin.
This has been described as a new all-time low for television. Let's keep this thing in perspective. This is an industry that employed Jimmy Savile for 60 years.
Caprice is ideal for the high dive because these days her face permanently looks like it's travelling at 60 miles an hour. So we're trying to guess the most talked about things this week. Right, fingers on buzzers, 2 more things to guess.
About the Lance Armstrong thing?
Oh, yeah, go on.
Yeah. I mean, it's tricky because he has been lying for who knows what's true about him. He probably can't even cycle. Never been to France. He's probably not even a man. He's just a bag full of cats on a bike. That's why going in front of him always was a car with someone dangling fish behind it, and the cats would just be...
Also, it was such a complicated operation. He kept little thingies, syringes in things, and people had to look after his blood, and it just sounded multi-led, and he was a bully and horrible.
I don't know why people are surprised. He changed... It's not his real name, Lance Armstrong. He changed it to tell people what he's doing. Lance Armstrong. That's what he was doing. And his teammate, Needles McFasterbike.
He got caught a lot sooner, to be fair.
That's like Charlie Sheen, though, isn't it? That's a description of his own face.
I used to be a cyclist. I still am a cyclist. But if you know about the drugs, it's very interesting. The specific EPO is the one.
EPO is what? It's the one that goes in the blood, is it?
That he has been taken. And then there's 3 levels of this A, B, and C. And then he was on C, which is the highest. And then there's 1, 2, 3. And then that's the highest of the C. So he was technically on C3PO. And then you go gold after a while and start talking like a camp robot.
David, you're a serious cyclist. You obviously know a lot about it. You mean you're not just go off down to the shops on your bike? You actually did proper cycling, did you?
Yeah, when I was 14, I would get up before school and cycle for 2 hours. Ireland had
That's called a paper round. That's what that is.
Well, I never got paid!
You're not very aerodynamic, are you?
Oh! Saucer of milk for Sean Locke.
No, I mean, with the beard, the hair, they shave. I wasn't being rude. I'm just saying you guys you have to be all shaven.
But you don't know which way round I used to cycle. I have an incredibly smooth arse, and it's also shaped like an arrow.
Yeah. Did you adapt the bike, especially?
Yeah. Used to have a lot of accidents, was the only problem.
So here's the question. He's worth $100 million. Should he lose his money and go to jail for fraud? That's what the question is.
I can't believe, beyond the drugs thing, though, he's just an arsehole.
Yeah.
Just as a human being. He used to go around saying to people, I will destroy you. But to be cheating and to... Like, he was cheating, and the Times did a piece about him, and he sued them. I mean, that man has got some ball.
OK, let's see if Lance Armstrong and Oprah Winfrey are up there. Yes, this week Lance Armstrong spoke to Oprah Winfrey about his drug scandal. Lance Armstrong is now despised around the world, which is the second thing he's got in common with Hitler. OK, one more thing to get. Fingers on buzzers. What do you think?
The collapse of my shed. The snowfall. It's completely collapsed.
OK, what other nation are we talking about this week?
HMV have gone into liquidation. They've suddenly realised that people aren't buying videos and DVDs and CDs off them anymore, and that there's this thing called the internet where they are doing it. And so, and then they looked around and think, hey, hang on, we've got huge stores all over the world, and we aren't making any money, so let's close them all and not do it anymore, because we're losing a lot of money. That's my analysis of it.
I worry about the dog. There was no announcement. They should have said HMV's gone under and the dog's gone to live on a farm. That was what
He's not gone to live on a farm, though, has he? He's in a Tesco burger.
My husband loves a bargain bucket. Do you know how many copies we've got of The Grinch? He comes home, he goes, Claude, look what I found.
Another cheap bucket.
Another bucket. I've got a Guinness.
The fear is just that there'll be no shops left. You know, in a few years, there'll just be, you know, those ones that just, they're called like Value Bastard, and they just sell 20 cigarette lighters taped to a bottle of bleach from Ukraine. You know, one of those ones.
As a piece of genuine advice, though, for people, if you have got HMV vouchers, you can get a full refund from the person who gave you the vouchers and tell them not to get you a shit present next year.
OK, so are you going to miss it, David? I mean...
I don't really have any nostalgia for it.
But it's a record store, basically, and it's not in the high street anymore. They're going to have a lot more chairs in the Topshop change... You know that place outside where the sad boyfriends sit? Outside the changing rooms. They've got, like, 4 seats, and you sit there going... They're going to have to expand that massively, because normally you would just go, I'm just going to pop to HMV for half an hour and waste some time and buy some stuff we're never going to watch.
I go to Top Man without a girlfriend. Nobody knows. I just sit there all day. She'll never find the one she wants, lads, eh? Oh! Let's all go for a beer while she's in there. Let's all...
It's Top Shop that the girls go to. You're going to Top Man, you've said that.
Still works, doesn't it, Top Man? It's got, oh, she's in there, and they're all like, oh, tell me about her.
She's in there?
Trying on a suit. She tells me she's a woman.
I haven't checked.
Bernard told me she's a woman.
Trying to find something that does make her Adam's apple look big.
Let me tell you, I saw her going in, and you've got the Top Man. Well done.
She really struggles to find shoes.
I can't walk into... What was the other one? Top Girl.
Top Shop.
Top Shop. I can't walk into Top Shop without a girlfriend. I look like a bloody pervert, wouldn't I?
Walk in quickly behind some girls that are going in. Just sort of fussing around them. Yeah. And sort of be chatting, and they can look round and you sort of go, ha ha, yeah, pretend they're talking to you. And then peel off straight to the changing rooms. You can spend the whole day in there.
They're just different levels of the same shop. You have to go through Top Shop
Oh,
to
yeah,
get to
that's
Top
the
Man.
other bloody thing. It's always bloody men's clothes upstairs, isn't it? Why have I got to go up the pissing stairs? Every clothes shop, it's, oh, where are the men's stores? You got 3 flights of stairs. Have you got an escalator? Now, if you want a shirt, frigging go and get one, you dickhead. Women
I
always
just want to sit outside the dressing rooms.
Why can men never
No,
be on
because
the
your
ground?
legs
all the
are
places.
much longer. We're tiny. We're like Ewoks. We can't start climbing upstairs, getting on escalators. We've got enough shit to do.
But you want it. There are genuinely men I've seen go into Top Man, they get halfway up the stairs, they think, I'll just wear this for the rest of my life, aren't
I know you had a DVD out at Christmas, right?
you? Thanks, mate.
Did you go...
Still
Did you
available in the
go-
shops, half price now.
Did you go... Is that... Do you think that's what...
Do you think I
led to the
killed
demise?
HMV?
Well, I'm just... No. Let's have a look and see if HMV and Blockbuster are up there. Yes, HMV and Blockbuster have sadly gone bust. HMV stores are no longer honouring gift vouchers, which is such a shame after all the thought that went into buying them. Blockbuster stores, for the time being, will continue to trade as normal, so that's open all day with absolutely no customers. So those were the most talked about things this week. But in other news, the government has announced new pension reforms, which will completely revolutionise the way old people freeze to death because they can't afford their heating. This is a genuine story. A travelling freak show has advertised a vacancy for a wolf boy. Applicants must have a minimum of 60,000 hairs on their face. So, David, when do you start? A college in County Durham is running an X Factor preparation course. It teaches the 3 golden rules: work on your vocals, become homeless, and wait for your nan to die. And pubic lice are becoming extinct due to an increase in body waxing. Conservationists have now declared David O'Doherty a nature reserve. And at the end of that, Sean, Jack and Claudia have 2 points. John, David and Josh have 1. Okay, so our next round is pick of the polls. John, David, Josh, your turn first. What do you like the look of?
Let's have all the healthy food since it's January time.
OK, well, the most common New Year's resolution in this country is to lose weight. So here is your question. How do British people prefer to lose weight, diets or exercise?
People don't like diets or exercise, do they?
You've never tubbed up, have you?
I've tubbed up enough. Tubbing up to me is when, if I reach for something behind me, 2 bits of skin touch. I have no business touching.
Yeah, that's happened to me.
Back fat.
Like a...
I've got a fat back.
Like a love handle, you mean? John, you could, by that criteria, you could become massively fat but never lean over, and you'd be happy.
That's true.
You could just buy massive clothes and then do that thing where you go, look how much weight I've lost. And every year you just buy bigger and bigger trousers.
Jack, do you do any exercise?
What's it to you?
No, fair comment. I don't know why. Sorry.
A friend who's a nutritionist, and I have occasionally attempted to do a healthy thing, but then I'm informed that's exactly what you're not supposed to. I stopped drinking fizzy drinks for a while, and I was drinking orange juice. He's like, you can't drink orange juice. If you leave a coin in a glass of orange juice overnight, in the morning it's on fire! What are you... I was eating carrots, and he's like, carrots kill more people than hippos! What are you doing? No! No, I just...
Have you ever done any fatty diets?
What are you talking? I am a fad diet. Yeah, I like a rule. I like one of those ones when suddenly you read a Sunday newspaper and it goes, only mango. Done.
I do the
this will be good, everyone.
Here
he comes.
Go on.
Tell him.
Tell them. Diet I do, excuse me, is I do the seafood diet. If I see some seafood...
No.
No, is that wrong?
It's wrong, yeah. Seafood, I eat it.
Chop that out. I don't want that in the show.
Give him another crack.
I thought I had this comedy thing cracked. I really did.
I'm not telling tales out of class here, but I know you were on this diet where you got followed around by that bloke on a moped, weren't you, who delivered all your food?
I've done a fatty diet, yeah.
It was like airline food, wasn't it? They brought around to you every
What's
day.
It wasn't like airline food.
Well, it looked like it.
Were you driving that moped? 'Cause they never took the house.
But that's what you did, wasn't it? You
That's
had
Domino's,
that thing.
isn't it?
No.
I had Domino's over Christmas. God, everything about it is sad. Even the name implies things collapsing and a haphazard fashion. And you don't even have to ring them up anymore. Now you go on their grim website and it recognises how vulnerable you are. And it starts rating, you should better get some garlic bread. Like, OK, I will. If I eat enough carbs, will it feel like a hug?
The worst thing about them is that once you've entered your details online, they've got you. They harass you every week. We're about 3 emails a day now going, "You all right today, John? Should I have pizza for tea tonight?" I'll give you one for a tenner, because you haven't got any friends, have you?
When I was particularly sad once, I went and ticked all the things I wanted from Domino's, and it said, "You've ordered the romantic meal for 3." Which raises more questions as the title of a meal than...
Pizza Hut's the one I liked when Pizza Hut went healthy and they changed their name to Pasta Hut.
Yeah.
You're going,
Did they?
if there's one problem with your name, it's not pizza. It's Hut. That's the bit that makes it sound shit.
I sometimes mix up Pizza Hut and Sunglasses Hut, and then I go in for the all-you-can-eat 1 hour special, and they're like, $5 grand worth of Ray-Bans. Oh.
I tried to get fit. I started swimming, which I'm not. I've found out I'm a very weak swimmer. I haven't got like a stroke.
You haven't got a stroke?
I'm more like...
What do you
like
do?
a whisk. If you just put a whisk in water, that's kind of what I'm like.
A lot of froth.
I like the bit where you go into the pool and your shorts inflate. That's the best bit.
Plenty of room in there.
There's a lot of gadgets available to help you lose weight. I've got a this is a thigh exerciser.
Why
That's
would
a
anybody
thigh-
use that?
Why, have you never used one of these?
I couldn't give a toss about my thighs.
I'm not sure how it...
Go on, Jimmy.
I think it works like that. You've got a... What was that movement? I think it's how they train policemen.
And at the end of it, your thighs are toned and you've got lovely flat testicles.
Does it hurt?
Have a go.
No.
Get
You
involved.
could use it if you were having
What else have I
sex with
got?
someone and you wanted a break and they had their legs open, you could just pop that in and say, I'll be back in a second. There's someone at the door. Imagine, I'll show you, look, they're up there, you're having sex with them, and you go, I've got to nip off, and then you just pop that in there.
I'll just make a cup of tea.
How long are you going to be? Oh, bloody hell. Been ages.
But that's the problem with exercise. It really hurts. Ow!
But
What's the point?
they've got fun stuff.
Go
They've
on.
got fun stuff. They've got these are new. That's a power hula hoop.
Oh, look at you, Grace Jones.
That's a power, but it's got special ridges, so it makes it harder to.
Go on, do it!
No, you do it. Have a crack.
I don't like doing it.
Come on, have a go. You'll be able to do it. Maybe jump out there.
This is one step away from splash, just so you know that.
Honestly, it's not.
Look at those shoes. Brilliant.
Do I do it here?
Let me just get my camera.
This is.
I can't. I don't like it. Don't touch it.
Someone had just lassoed you. That's what...
John, do you want to give that a crack? It's
Not
pretty healthy.
particularly.
Go on. I tell you, it's very... It's really big and ridgy.
This used to be my belt. Look how much weight I've lost.
It's weirdly painful, isn't it?
What else have you got?
I've got. These are meant to be for your arms, I think, for
Jack, you interested?
literally doing this.
Do you do both at the
that
same
is-
time?
I think you do both at the same time. Do you want to have a crack? No. Have a crack. Come on. Oof.
You're going to hula hoop and do the...
I'm not doing all three at the same time, am I?
Yes.
Well, no, come on, do all three. Come on.
It's turned into like the shittest stag do ever, hasn't it? Go on, do all three.
As if everyone else on the panel could just do this a piece of
course
piss.
we can. We do this all day.
Fuck!
Heroically bad. Honestly, give it another go. Give it another go. You couldn't.
I don't know if we've got the insurance.
Throw that back there.
This is really
you
hard.
just
It's
practice.
something like we're in circus school.
Wait there, watch this.
You get that.
That's...
Go on, David. What's the plan?
You get those going, and I'll be in charge of
Has
this.
this not stopped yet?
Okay, so you go with these.
Oh, I
okay,
see,
and
yeah,
I'm going to be
yeah.
in charge of this.
OK, let me...
I'm going to swizzle this around.
Yeah. Okay. So if you're no good at that, if you're lazy about exercise, if you don't want to do any work, I've got this for you. I've got the electrocute your stomach. Do you want to try one of these?
That looks like a kind of tag you give a prisoner on release.
But that it electrocutes your stomach. Do you want to... Just. Jack's fine. Jack's fine. Jack's in perfect.
Jack's not fat.
Just pull up your sweater. Lovely.
How high does this go?
How high? What do you mean, how high?
Voltage.
Voltage? Well, no, it's
How's your
nothing.
stomach?
Honestly, it's nothing.
No, I don't like
It's
this.
really gonna hurt.
Is that it?
No, I think that's it, yeah.
No, it's gonna hurt.
It's not going to hurt.
It
will
is. Exercise.
definitely not hurt.
Ah! It's like a
Is it
jellyfish! Get off!
Get it off him!
What? Ah! I can't get it off, it'll hurt more!
Well, the show was going well until Jimmy tasered Jack.
That's apparently a thing.
Oh, okay.
What is the thing? I'm sitting back down.
What else have you got?
I brought along the most calorific burger
Holy shit.
we could get, which is... That's got apparently a week's worth of calories in it.
Is that the last meal you eat before they strap that thing on you? Is that
Yeah, that's
delicious.
18,000 calories and contains sugar.
It's more like Popeye's wedding cake.
I just do this as a sort of workout. Combine elements of both.
Can you take a proper bite, David?
Yeah, because they want...
David, why don't you just dislocate your jaw like one of those snakes and just spend, you know, they spend like a week just like... Well, I'll have a...
Just have a bite of it.
Just have a...
Come on, man up. It's just
Oh, look at you! You look 2 years old.
I feel like I'm a baby again.
DOD.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much.
Happy to help.
I mean, I don't think I got all of it in there. The top part is, yeah, that'll do me now until he won't feast again until March. Give us a look at that one, at the bouncy thing.
With the bouncy?
What's the bounce on it like?
Oh, yeah, the bounce on... There you go. Are you gonna... What are you...
No!
But I mean,
Don't do it!
you haven't... I knew it was ruined the show.
What, were you going to try and launch a burger at our...
You could definitely launch a section of it. Look, this, okay? All right. You guys... No, hang on. You guys meant to have your mouths open.
The good news is we've got the delivery system sorted.
Can we now electrocute the burger and see if it comes back to life?
All right, let's get some answers on this then. So how do you think people prefer to lose weight, dieting or exercise? What do you think, Sean?
Diet, yeah, definitely diet and exercise, both, actually.
What do you think, Claudia?
Dieting. I don't like sweating.
I think exercise, because diets are horrible.
OK, so you're going for exercise.
Exercise.
What do you want to go for, John? What do you think? How do people
Diet?
prefer to lose weight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diet.
You're going diet, OK. Well, I can tell you, 65% of British people prefer to lose weight by exercising. Sean's got it right. 1 in 3 men say they're secret dieters, and the main person they're keeping that secret from is the woman behind the counter at Greg's. Sean, Claudia, Jack, pick a question.
I go for the mad Pinocchio character. Pinocchio, grown up, moved on in the world, still hasn't learned his lesson, though, has he?
OK. Your related question. Most people admit to lying at least once a day. Is that true or false?
It's true. I lie every day. I wake up and say good morning. Every single day.
I lie all the time. I like lying. I love it.
You lying now?
Yeah. By 9 p.m, I've lied 900 times. Women lie especially. I think men are a bit more... I don't know
Women
anything
lie,
about men.
especially if they're wearing Spanx. That's a lie, isn't it? Or a Wonder Bra. You liar.
I did all that stuff. I don't mind about getting my... I'm on the pill.
Did you lie about that?
3 times.
These are Britain's most popular lies. I've got a list of the most popular lies in Britain. Sorry, I had no mobile phone signal.
Brilliant.
It's the most common lie in this country. Second is, nothing's wrong, I'm fine.
Boom.
That's no man has ever said that, incidentally. It's only ladies saying
What
that
about-
all the time.
No, I haven't got a crossbow. That must be in there.
It's not in the top 5. Number 4 is, you look lovely.
Yeah. Number 9. Number 9 must be... I didn't put that snake in your toilet. It must be up there, come on.
That is number 5.
People awing when you say number 4 is you look lovely. The alternative is to live in a world where that isn't in there, but every time someone asks, most of the time people go, eh.
Especially at the start of a relationship, you know, we have to pretend you've got a different personality.
Yeah.
You know, you have to lie. Just, do you know what I love? Feelings.
Jimmy, I'll see if you lie, because I've got a question I want to ask you.
Sure,
I've
go
noticed
ahead.
something.
Go ahead.
Something. Have you had your teeth jazzed up?
Yeah, I've had my teeth jazzed up. That was the exact term I used.
Yeah.
I want
Really
that.
white. It looked like you swallowed a torch.
Yeah, well, they were looking kind of shitty, and I was getting, you know...
Oh, like this?
Yeah.
Did you
So,
send
no,
them...
they weren't that bad. They were bad.
I
They still look like teeth.
got the teeth of like a dead horse found in the Thames after about a month.
I like your teeth, but then I like Watsits.
Yeah.
Which made me think, oh...
Yours are so bright. They're a bit... I mean, when you switch the lights out at night, do moths bump into them?
On the dating thing, pretending to be a different person at the beginning of a relationship, apparently the most common lie on internet dating sites told by men is about their height. What do you do when you turn up on the first date? You just go, I'm still quite far away?
No, this is what you do, is you just sort of hop around, going, oh, really nice to see you. Yeah, where are we going? Should we go to the bar later? Yeah, come on. I'm really excited about meeting you. You just do that. You keep that up, and then you get to a seat, and you sit...
I wear high heels and flared trousers.
That's shopping in Topshop for you, isn't it?
You've got to buy something when you've been in there as long as I have.
Everyone lies on the internet, though. I mean, I would say I'm a 14-year-old girl from Kansas. It's virtually impossible to do a survey about lying and believe in its accuracy.
Yeah.
I think...
If you ask people, do you lie once a day, they could lie and go, yes. Because they don't normally lie.
In our
Or
defence,
lie,
Sean, for these questions for 8 out of 10 cats, we do waterboard people. We do use torture methods, and we're pretty thorough on
But then
this.
we can't trust torture. We all know torture, evidence gained by torture is not admissible in court. Touché!
This is not a court of law, my friend. So most people admit to lying at least once a day. What do you think, true or false, Sean?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
You think true, and what are you going to say?
If you ask someone if they lie and they say yes, then technically they'd be lying even if the answer was no. So they would be lying if they weren't lying.
Captain Fun! What are you going to say?
It's true.
True.
You think true? I can tell you that the answer is false. Only 36% of people admit to lying once a day.
That's
Liars.
not true.
Bullshit.
Just looked like you were trying to shag it. I'm going to shag this table, I'm so annoyed.
I made the mistake of lying in a job interview. Turns out I couldn't maintain an erection in front of a film crew. And the worst thing was, all the other guys could. Anyway, got my teeth done. And the winner is the name of our final round. Here is your question. The biggest sign you're getting old.
Is it death from natural causes?
John, are you looking forward to getting old? Because you're sort of, I mean no offence, but you're sort of an old, grumpy man trapped inside a young man's body.
Yeah. But I've also, you know, enough self-awareness to know that when I get older, I'll realise what a prick I was. I won't look back and think, God, I'm so glad I spent so much money on slippers in my 20s.
By slippers, he means lube. Ayo! I wonder if a lot of old people watch this show just with the promise of cats in the title of it.
Only to find out that 2 out of 10 of them are horses.
Jack, do you worry that you might turn grumpy when you get old?
And then just change. I'm going to just change and be happy. And then when I die, everyone will think, well, what was that all about then? He was grumpy all his life, then he got all happy, and now he's dead. One of the signs of being, when you know you're getting old, is when someone your age dies and no one says it's a tragedy. That has happened to me.
Getting old is dreamy. It's the answer. I mean, I wouldn't go back. I hated being young.
You'd have your lunch earlier. You have your lunch about 11 o'clock in the morning, don't you?
And I get to bed most days at about 9. I started wearing socks in bed.
Are you depressed?
No, I'm just old.
John says that, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
John looks concerned about your life.
I reckon John is a whisker away from writing down socks in bed. Sounds good.
I already wear socks in bed. Because I like to
socks in
dangle
bed.
my feet out from the end of the duvet, but I don't want monsters to eat my feet. I'm not an idiot.
I once bought a teas made from a second-hand shop, and I took it home and plugged it in and went to sleep, right? And it woke me up with a cup of tea at 5 in the morning. Now, that is because I worked out that the teas made had been taken to the second-hand shop because it belonged to someone who was old, who had no further use for it, let's put it that way. Then I'd gone and bought it without checking what time it was set for. Old people get up incredibly early.
It's a bit of a showy-offy story, the whole you bought a second-hand teas made. OK, so...
Is it hair growing out of your ears, out of your nose?
So when you start having to Google
I've got it
stuff-
coming out the top of my nose now, not just the inside.
That's called an eyebrow.
One that comes out there, and about every 2 weeks I just go... Ping.
When a bag for life is something you have to have fitted, that's when you know you're old.
Oh, no.
It's when you start having to Google, not words, but now language that people use. Like off Twitter, every time I check someone's tweet now, there's something I just absolutely... One of the Saturdays during X Factor tweeted...
You're following one of the Saturdays?
And on Twitter. One of them tweeted, "Oh, that is so libs." I had no idea what libs meant. I actually learned it means laser-induced breakdown spectroscopy. That's when you're getting old, when the Saturdays are too intelligent for you.
What is libs? What happens in it?
I think it must mean, like, liberty, yeah? Like, you didn't even ask me if you could borrow my teas made, you just, like, took it. Is it that when you start forgetting things?
Yeah, that's the right answer. Of course, women don't get old. They mature like a fine cheese. They start to smell and get those blue veins everywhere. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are John, David and Josh have 3 points, Sean, Jack and Claudia have 4 points. They're tonight's winners.
Tonight on 8 out of 10 Cats, well, Joe, it's Gemma Collins. That's got the cream. It's Catherine Ryan. And their team captain, John Richardson. And facing them tonight, don't go baking my heart. It's Richard Bacon. Newton Cobb. It's Penning Ben. And their team captain, Sean Locke. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy
Welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, 1/3 of people flush the toilet while still sat on it, which I believe is known as a Manchester bidet. It takes the average person 7 minutes to fall asleep, although that can drop to under a minute if you're going out with John Richardson. Which you're not. No one is. Well, you go out with him then. And 25% of women have difficulty experiencing orgasms. They could try having a threesome with me and their more attractive sister. Might help, might not. I'm just saying, let's give it a go. Right, let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. It's our panellists' job to guess the British public's top 3 most popular talking points. John's team, what do you think the nation would be talking about?
The snow.
Oh. Gemma, straight in there.
Well, because it was like really changed all the colour of the country and stuff.
How do you mean it's changed the colour of the country? Is it quite insightful?
No, because when you look out your window, like obviously there's grass and there's grey buildings and like you drive through London, but when it snows, it's beautiful. So I think that's a hot topic to talk about.
That's good.
It's a cold topic.
Oh yeah.
First reason why John doesn't have a girlfriend, that is.
In a continuing series, let's see how high we can get. There's my voice, that's number 2. Hello, number 3.
You know, I envy in the snow, in this weather. It's the only time of the year I envy dog walkers. Because I just think, oh, it'd be great, you know, when they have the dog has a crap and you've got something warm in your hand for a bit.
Have a look at this car. This is a driver that basically... He cleared his windscreen. How could he possibly have an accident when he's prepared that thoroughly?
That's not a cleared windscreen, that's a glory hole. I've seen holes like that in Louis Walsh's dressing room wall. Do you know what I did to de-ice my car? I'd boil like 3 kettles, and then when they were hot, just chuck one over it.
That can crack the window screen, though.
Excellent intervention from Gemma Collins, yeah?
Why?
Because you're putting boiling hot water on cold, so it can crack.
I can't believe we're getting science.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed. We're doing a bit of science
you.
together. So hot water on cold, don't do it.
Yeah, because it will crack and shatter and it could be dangerous.
Because it expands too quickly, isn't it?
Yeah.
It was very busy. It was very busy, though. A friend of mine works in a puffer jacket factory. And he said they just can't kill the geese fast enough. He said, we're in there just... So they're just chucking grenades in there now.
Richard, you obviously think the snow is very dangerous because you're on a news radio channel.
And the news reports often say things like, they always say, only take an essential journey, don't take any non-essential journeys. And often the report saying that is in a tiny little village somewhere, and they'll have driven their quite big outside broadcast vehicle down a tiny little road into a village to tell you what you already know, that it snowed.
And then they're telling you don't take non-essential journeys. Who's going out for a spin anymore?
Well, one person's essential journey isn't another's. For example, I consider it essential for me to drive around counting snowmen. Somebody's got to do that, you know, count the snowman, height, you know, I can't do the weight, that's tricky. But every time I see a snowman, I always think to myself, God, I must get round to building a snowman.
Why don't you stop driving around looking at them and use that time to build a snowman?
Or take one.
Get
a van, if there is one you really like, with 2 coals for the eyes and carrot for the nose, perfect.
Do they have a tradition of building snowmen in Germany? Is it
we have got the finest snowman in the world.
Well, I want to ask about German snowmen. Do they put the coal underneath the carrot? That would look good, wouldn't it? That would look good. Give a bit of coal there.
Let's have a look and see if the snow is up there. Yes, Britain continues to be battered by freezing weather. Conditions in Birmingham were described as appalling, with no food on the shelves, schools shut and emergency services stretched to breaking point. And then it began to snow. Sean's team, what else have the nation been talking about this week?
Prince Harry, I would say.
Yes. Prince Harry's finished his tour of duty.
It does make it sound like he's finished the game and gone on to Call of Duty 2.
Yeah. You've made a documentary.
Oh, yeah, I have. It's on BBC 3 on Monday night, and I went out to Camp Bastion to make a documentary about Prince Harry.
Right.
His time out there.
So do you hang out with Prince Harry? Or?
Well, I'd be lying if I said I did an interview with him. There was a slight technical reason why I couldn't. But it's...
sorry, what was the technical reason why you... Tell me, what's the technical reason? Have you got a thing about gingers?
I just didn't... That's my way of saying I failed to secure an interview with Prince Harry. But I presented... so I've done a tour of Camp Bastion of what his life is like out there. And it is fascinating. And he... you know, he's been heavily criticised this week for comparing killing members of the Taliban to playing computer games. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw people gave him a hard time about it. I think we're very squeamish about this, though, aren't we? He talked about killing the Taliban, and we sort of went, well, he's in the army, and we sent him over there. That's sort of his job, isn't it?
And we know he's in an Apache helicopter with a machine gun. What did they think he was doing? And it was, I suppose in a way as well, it was a bit rich of the Taliban.
A bit rich of the Taliban. They won't like that bit. They will not like that. What does he say about us? What did he say about us?
You read a quote in the paper that says, oh, it's a bit stupid to compare a computer game to killing real people. And you go, yeah, that seems... And you go, oh, it's the Taliban. I think I agree with the Taliban. That is a new moment in your life. Well, maybe they're all right, you know. Maybe... you know, I kill people, but, you know, I'm good at computer games because of my thumbs.
I get where he's coming from, though.
You get where he's coming from.
Yeah.
Gemma, tell us more.
I tell you for why, because when you play a computer game, you go into another zone.
Yeah.
And when he went to the war, he just applied his skill on the Game Gear or whatever to the war. So when he was, say, like, in combat in the computer game, he put himself back in that headspace when he was, like, really fighting people.
Knees and toes. Knees and toes.
I get where he's coming from.
Yeah. I'll give you the actual quote from Prince Harry. He said he admitted killing Taliban members, saying, if there's people trying to do bad stuff, then we'll take them out of the game. We have to take a life to save a life.
He talks like a Premier League footballer there. Yeah, Afghanistan, always a difficult place to go. We knew we had to dig in deep, so I'm just pleased I was given a gun. And that's what it's all about at this level. Next Saturday, Ipswich.
He has been prepared, though. Like, no wonder Prince Harry's killing Taliban. Look at his entire life. Murdering the dance floor. Slaying babes every night. Carnage. That's who he is.
But why is there a war there? Because they've caught Osama bin Laden.
Good question.
They've caught Saddam Hussein.
Yeah.
So what are they fighting for now?
Basically, the Taliban don't like fun.
No. It's at war with Afghanistan because they've got loads of grit. And that is what Britain needs every winter. Doesn't have enough grit, and that is why Britain is in Afghanistan getting all the grit.
I just think it's all a waste of money. Like, you know, these wars cost money and stuff, surely.
They do.
It's a waste of money.
It's
You're
a
the people
waste-
that gave us vajazzles. Let's not start.
All right, then, I'll let you off.
Let's have a look and see whether Prince Harry is up there. Yes, indeed. Prince Harry has returned from Afghanistan. No one's quite sure what Prince Harry's going to do next, but he's served in the army and his mum died when he was young, so he could go a long way on X Factor. OK, fingers on buzzers. One more thing still to get.
Is it the smell that came over from France? The smell in the week was released and it came directly across. Did people not know about this?
Yeah, I knew about it. Sorry, Jimmy, what was it? What did it smell of?
It's apparently it smells of sweat, garlic and rotten eggs. According to reports, it's called Mercaptan.
Mercaptan, and it came from a French factory, didn't it? And then it wafted over...
It wafted over the channel.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's impossible to comment on this without being anti-French. So why try? Yeah. You know it must be bad when even the French notice the smell.
Well, I think...
Could you smell this in Essex?
No. We would not have come out of our houses if we'd have smelt it.
But then equally, I think the bigger debate is, what if you were a village sort of 5 miles away and you knew you could smell it in the other village but not in yours? Would you drive to smell it?
You know who you are? My sister had a boyfriend who would purposely go in the loo after she'd been in there and be like, yeah. And she was like, don't go in, don't go in. And he was like, I'm not, I'm just getting hand towels.
It wasn't me, can we just say? Can we just clear that out? I think it was glad to see, because they were calling it Le Pong. It's nice to see Pong getting a bit of work without Ping piggybacking on it. Because Ping got the big microwave contract about 20 years ago. Poor old Pong's like, you're off out again? Yeah, I'm doing the microwave gig. I'll just wait until someone plays that game from the bloody 70s again. Poor old Pong.
The thing that he's concerning. Like, everyone's going on about the smell, but what if there is some bad stuff in that gas that has got into our bodies if you did breathe it in, and it's like eating our organs and you don't know it?
Could be melting our brains.
It could be, it could be. People my age don't really watch the news because they find it boring.
How old are you?
32. Every night sometimes I go on YouTube and I came across this guy, right, called David Icke.
Yes.
And I've been watching him and he's really
Well, this explains a lot.
You're his target audience, Gemma.
Am I?
Yes, you are exactly the sort of person he's trying to reach.
He is fascinating. He has said Beyonce isn't real.
But...
And basically, we are all run by aliens. Like, there's aliens living amongst us in this country, like reptiles, which... See, why do you know to do that? Why do you know? He says that. David Icke says they pull off their... he shows it on the thing.
They pull off their faces?
Yeah.
Well, I imagine when you take the fake tan off, it looks different.
Yeah. Why should we just believe that this gas has just come? Why did it come? What is it doing to us?
You sound like you've just smoked your first joint.
I haven't.
Well, I can tell you the French gas leak is not one of the most talked about things this week. But after extensive investigation, the cause of the foul odour was narrowed down to two possible sources: everything in France or everyone in France. OK, fingers up, buzzers. One more thing to get. Go ahead.
Is it the fact that everyone in the world's a lizard? I assume so, because I didn't know until this evening. I'm only learning this now.
Have you ever watched a lizard? Have you ever watched a lizard? There's no way lizards could take over the world because they're so fucking slow. They're like this. You could edit a bit of this out, but I'm going to stay here for a few minutes.
OK, let's get on to the next thing.
I'm doing the thing.
Stop being a lizard.
How is that lizard going to take over the world, Gemma? Can he operate a gun?
He's not a real one. He's not a real one.
He's right, Jimmy. He's right.
John's team.
The referendum. There's this bloke called David Cameron. There's this referendum's come about, and we've got to sort it out. And this is where I'll come to you. Because I know what the word is, but I don't know really what a referendum is.
It's like getting your news in Braille and you're wearing gloves.
They're saying we're going to have a referendum, which is a vote on whether we're in or out of Europe. That's what
That's what it was about. Yeah, I know now.
That's it, yeah.
I think what we're proving here is that there should not be a referendum on Europe.
Cameron says that the British people should have their say. No, when the British people vote, they keep Rylan and Spidey in. You don't want to do that.
I mean, that whole nonsense debate here in Britain, if Britain is in Europe or not, what a nonsensical debate. To anyone who thinks that Britain isn't in Europe, you can smell France. And don't even get me started on that Scottish independence. We don't need more country in Europe, we need fewer countries in Europe, and they all need to speak with one voice.
Which is
German. We have to understand, like Germany versus Britain, Italy versus France, we all hate the Dutch. Yes, of course we all hate the Dutch. They're horrible. That's not a point I'm trying to make.
No, we like the Dutch.
No, they're awful.
We like the Dutch.
No, they're absolutely awful.
We hate the Germans. We don't...
Let's have a look and see whether Cameron talking about the EU is up there. Yes, David Cameron has promised an in-out referendum on Europe. France and Germany have said Britain can't pick and choose its terms with Europe. There are just two things you need to remember, France and Germany: World War I and World War II.
Well, third time lucky.
They'll do it again. They will. They'll do it again, won't you? They'll do it again.
We're really up for it.
So this is what it's like if you listen to radio in German and you can understand German. This is what they're saying all the time on the radio. When you're in German, you don't know what they're saying, but it's just stuff like this. It's just they're just shouting it to each other. Yes, this time we will do it.
It's a bit like England before any World Cup.
At the end of that round, Sean, Henny and Richard have 1 point. John, Gemma and Catherine have 2. So our next round is Pick of the Polls. John, Gemma, Catherine, pick a question.
Let's have Silvio Berlusconi.
OK. This week it was reported that 76-year-old billionaire and former Italian Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi is suing a magazine for photographing him with a harem of beautiful young women. So we asked our studio audience, do you find powerful people more attractive, yes or no?
Yes. You know that book, 50 Shades of Grey?
Yeah.
The guy
Mainly
that was in it was a very powerful, like, he did turn out to be a weirdo, but he was really powerful, and he had that hold over that woman, and it just shows you that women do like that sort of thing.
Wasn't so much a hold as a clamp.
Yeah. You've got a bloke that, like, just ain't powerful, you just don't want him.
No, yes, I do.
Do you?
Yes, I do. I want someone who's at the end of his rope. Someone who's got no more to lose than he already has. I want someone grateful.
What about you, John? Do you like a powerful woman?
Well, I was so sure you were going to say powerful man there. Yeah. Power, just for power's sake, is boring, isn't it? If they're powerful because they've done something, like a rhino is powerful.
Rhinos don't do anything.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't shag a rhino. If a rhino had done something amazing...
You would then shag it?
Well...
The way I understand it is that they always say women like nothing better than a man that makes them laugh. It's just an absolute shame that women find nothing funnier than £1 million in the bank.
What about you, Richard? What do you think?
Well, there are people who are powerful who are attractive as well. So Barack Obama is... he is also attractive.
Thought you were going to pick a woman.
Yeah.
Some people used to find Margaret Thatcher attractive, didn't they?
Oh, yeah. I look at her, I think, war. I would fuck her like she would fuck a northern town. So the question is, do you find powerful people more attractive, yes or no? We asked our studio audience. What do you think they said, Sean?
I think they said, nah.
No. OK, what do you think, John?
Yeah, obvious, yes. Fact, 100%.
OK, you're going yes. I can tell you the answer is yes. 53% of our studio audience do find powerful people more attractive. And the winner is the name of our final round. Here's your question. Best thing about living with your parents?
Oh, it's washing them, isn't it? Well, the age my parents are at. It's getting up in the morning and giving them a good wash. It's like, it's like the elephants in the zoo. I just stand them on the end of the table. And I get hose, I just scrubbing them all down.
How big are your parents?
Also, if you live with your parents, you can keep tabs on your inheritance, can't you? So, you don't need to have an evening meal. You had a big lunch. You don't need a new carpet. It's fine. Just take
Heating
glasses
on
off.
Bonacardi, you'll be fine.
No, don't spend that. This is mine.
Also, another one is you don't need to make up lies on how well you're doing, because they know you're a failure.
Catherine, how old were you when you moved out?
18.
18, and you
Yes.
never went back?
I never went back. I came to the UK by myself, and I'm a working foreign single mom.
Whoa. There's no need for a round of applause there. The Daily Mail want her out. What age were you when you moved out?
31.
You moved out last year?
Yeah, they started putting the news on.
No, right, the best thing...
You moved out last year?
Well, the best thing about living at home with my mum and dad was I used to ring them from the bedroom and say, can you put the kettle on, and stuff like that. And I know it sounds really bad, but we are from Essex, and that's what you do there.
But what if you, well, in that paper on your back, because I think the hardest thing would be making excuses. If you want to bring someone back and you live with your parents and you've got to pretend they're like your housemates.
Just do it in your front room.
I moved in here quite young, yeah.
Hang on a second.
Hello.
Just do it in the front room.
If your mum and dad are upstairs, just take them in the front room.
Just take him in the front room. What a lovely thought.
Yeah, this is a weird one. I know I'm usually upstairs and you're down, but I'm downstairs shagging and I am gasping.
Best thing about living with your parents. So what do you think?
It's cheap.
That is the correct answer. Give you that. Yes, the best thing about living with your parents is not having to pay bills. Just because you live with your parents doesn't mean you can't have a life. My mate lives with his parents and he got lucky the other night. Crispy pancakes for tea. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are Sean, Henning and Richard have 1 point. John, Gemma and Catherine have 4 points. They're tonight's winners.
Tonight on 8 out of 10 Cats, making us splash, it's Tina Malone. Not just a funny face, it's Joe Wilkinson. And their team captain, Sean Locke. And facing them tonight, Blimey O'Reilly. It's Rachel Riley. Stand-up guy, it's Chris Ramsey. And their team captain, John Richardson. Now, I'm your host, Jimmy Carr.
Hello and welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, 25% of people can write a text without looking at their phone, which is great because it means you can really concentrate on your driving. 48% of Brits think social networks can help new relationships. It's so true. My life has been such a social whirlwind since I joined Grindr. I've hardly been able to sit down. And 20% of men don't know what a pedicure is. A pedicure? Pretty sure it's a cure for men like Jimmy Savile. Right, let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. It's our panellists' job to guess the British public's top 3 most popular talking points. Sean, Tina, Joe, what have the nation been talking about over the last week?
Faster trains.
Faster trains.
Between Manchester, Leeds and London.
Manchester, Leeds and London. You're going the long way round, aren't you?
Well, you know, they can't get the one that they're doing now on time, so are they going to make it 1 hour and 6 if they can't do it in 2 hours from Manchester to London?
I'm quite happy with 2 hours to Manchester. I think you need a little bit of time to prepare yourself for going up north.
Yeah.
I don't like this fast train because I don't like being early. I'm going to... You know, because it takes an hour, you're going to be early, you're just going to be hanging about. Get a slow one, keep warm.
I don't think you will be early because it's not going to be built for 20 years.
Yeah. 2033, isn't it?
Yes, it's going to be finished in 2033.
I thought we'd be teleporting by then. I haven't got jetpacks, I don't want to be alive, let alone clinging on for life in a super fast buffet car, like.
They're saying it's for, like, European business people, though, that are coming over. But surely if you've had, like, a flight from Moscow, you're not going to land and then go, how much to Manchester? 2 hours. Fuck me, I'll go back.
Where's he going back to?
Don't know.
Is it really going to go 260 miles an hour?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
It's a shame, because you're not going to be able to stick your head out the window anymore, right? It'd be too dangerous. I used to love doing that. I did it all the way from Cardiff to Bangor once. God knows how many insects I ate, but I was...
Too fast, isn't it?
Too fast.
You'll have to change train impressions for kids. Like, it can't go... Won't do that, will it? It'll just go...
That won't be as good.
It wasn't that long ago that they binned Concorde, which was really quick getting to the States because it cost too much money. But now they've decided to spend 30 billion just to go to Manchester.
Are you saying we should get Concords to Manchester?
We could... Because
I'm in.
30 billion, yeah.
Well, for that kind of money, I mean, there's other things we could spend that money on, aren't there? I mean, it's a huge amount.
Yeah,
we could have a free bar on the train for 20 years.
Instead of building a train line, why don't they have that thing in supermarkets where they send the money down a tube? That the thing where the money pops up in a tube. That's so quick. Why don't they just build one of those? Just goes,
thing
you know,
in
things in
supermarkets?
supermarkets. Those things, they come up in a tube, and it's like a plastic thing, and they open it, and they put all the money in, and then it goes doof, and then it appears somewhere else. So they put the money in, they screw it, and then they pop it in a tube. Doof, it's gone. Literally seconds, and then you can hear somebody in the distance going, "Oh, why not a massive one of those?"
Shoot people out of cannons.
I don't think that's practical, Joe.
Not all right, not one then, 3.
3 cannons.
One to Totten, then change, get another cannon. Leeds. There's like a 20-minute wait there.
And then get another cannon.
And then another cannon there.
I could see that if there's a problem, like a cannon replacement service.
Yeah. An idea.
OK, let's see if the new high-speed rail line is one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, the most talked about thing. The government have unveiled plans for a new high-speed rail line. It said it will cost £32.7 billion, or £35 billion if you get a return. John, Rachel, Chris, what else will the nation be talking about this week?
Super Mario's off.
Super Mario's off. Stinks.
So this is Mario Balotelli, and he's... Go on, tell me the story.
He's off. He was a troublemaker at City. He had a bit of a rock with Mancini a little while ago, and he's off to AC Milan.
I don't think he's that bad, really. I think the rest of the footballers are weird. I don't think he's the weirdo. If you're a 22-year-old millionaire, why aren't they all acting like him? Let's be honest, he's the normal one. The rest of them going, "Oh, yeah, it was good, yeah, bought a new pencil case today, I'm excited." That's what I'd be doing. I'd be going mental. I'd have a cape. I'd wear a cape constantly. Everything. I'd go crazy.
You can afford a cape.
Yeah, but I can't pull it off.
Why do you think that capes are incredibly expensive? I mean, you're on telly quite a lot, Chris. You could get a cape. I'll buy you a cape.
That's why I came.
He does some strange things. Mario's mum once sent him to John Lewis to pick up an ironing board. He came back with a scale electric, a quad bike and a trampoline.
He's like Tom Hanks in Big.
He's amazing. This is great. Days after signing to City, Balotelli crashed his car on the way to training, and when the police asked him why he had £5,000 in cash on him, he replied, "Because I am rich."
He's a lunatic. If he wasn't a professional footballer, he'd just be in the park shouting at ducks.
It'd be nice for you to have some company.
He's just said to all his friends, hasn't he, now he's left, go to my home and take what you want.
So he said, "I'm going away to Milan, so I want you to just take everything, except my pants."
Yeah, except my undies, that's right.
Yeah, he said, "Don't take my pants,
I'm
but
the
take everything
opposite.
else."
When I have friends over, I insist they take a pair with them.
So Balotelli's girlfriend has said that she'll come and visit him in Milan because she said that Manchester was too remote.
She'll change her mind when that new train track's built, Jimmy. All the supermodels will come crawling back when they can get to Toten in the Midlands. Coming back with their knickers round their ankles. Isn't that a phrase, though? You'll be back with your knickers round... Is that
tail in between your legs?
That is definitely not a phrase.
Is it not tail between your legs?
I think it's... John, I think it sounds better in the original Latin. Quaes testos retonos per an inscription above a church. You'll be back with your knickers round your ankles. Oh, man.
It's exciting, though, isn't it, football? Transfer deadline day. Because it happens in comedy as well. I got a last-minute bid from Loose Women today, but failed the medical.
Deadline day for me. I've got some chicken in my fridge that goes out of date tomorrow.
QPR will have it. They bought everything else. Oh, it's a real one for the aficionados. Well done, man. That is men who've been clicking refresh on BBC Sport all day that got that
job. There's another big transfer story.
Beckham. He's not going to Arsenal.
Let's list the clubs he's not going to.
He's not going to Preston.
Is he not going to Preston?
I know where he's going.
Well, do you know where's he going?
He's going to Paris.
Yes. The incredible thing about this, so David Beckham has signed for Paris Saint-Germain, and he's donating his entire £150,000 a week salary to a children's charity.
Wanker.
Is that bad?
Yeah.
He wants to be Sir David Beckham.
Is
That's
that
what
bad?
It's about.
It's a children's charity.
In my book, that's evil.
It's
wrong. It should be stopped now. Stop him with his evil, conniving, giving money, all his wages to charity schemes. What the fuck's he playing? Don't pretend that there's not a bigger agenda here. Say
Exactly.
something.
He was obviously pissed when he said it.
Beckham apparently is going to move into this mansion, and it's got a panic room, otherwise known as the library.
Should we have a look and see whether the transfer window is one of the most talked about things this week?
Yep.
Yes, it was transfer deadline day yesterday. Manchester City striker Mario Balotelli has moved to AC Milan. David Beckham has signed for French club PSG. If you're watching, David, be careful what you eat in France. They recently found some beef DNA in their horse burgers. OK, fingers on buzzers. One thing still to get.
Well, I like the Iranian space launch. The Iranians have sent a monkey into space, which obviously people are worried about the animal rights. They wanted to check it was safe for the monkey, so they sent a woman up first. Well, she got the bloody thing back. She couldn't park it, could she? So... These are jokes at the expense of the Iranian policy on women, not my views, which happen to be the same.
The Iranians have sent a monkey into space. Do you want to have a look at the rocket?
Dodgy looking that. It looks like it was made on Blue Peter about 20 years ago.
How many monkeys must be dead in space? Like, over the years? Because we're laughing at Iran because they're Mars, but we were sending monkeys up for years. In America, they died. The only person who could make it sound less tragic is Brian Cox. If he did, yeah. Space is literally full of dead monkeys. Just floating on.
I'd love a monkey.
You'd love a monkey?
Yeah. No, like little finger monkeys. Have you seen the finger monkeys? Sorry to digress.
What's a finger monkey?
They're a tiny monkey, like a marmoset, and they just sit in your finger. They're so cute.
A monkey the size of your finger?
A bit peckish, a little snack. They're a bit like little nuggets, little monkey nuggets.
Like...
Basically, just stick them in the chip fat fryer, straight down.
Well, Iran sending a monkey into space is not one of the most talked about things, but Iran have sent a primate into space. Desolate, barren and dangerous. The monkey was relieved to get out of Iran and into that rocket. OK, fingers on buzzers.
The residence test for, you know,
the citizenship exam.
Test.
Go on.
Yeah, they've created a new citizenship test.
And they have different sections, so to prove that you're kind of, you know, that you're valid here or whatever, you know, things like there's a television section, so you have to say that you watch Coronation Street and Strictly and God knows, seriously.
And Morecambe and Wise.
And Morecambe and Wise, your knowledge on telly, honestly.
Well, that's our culture. I think it's valid.
Well, it was 30 years ago. I mean, who's setting the questions? UK Gold?
OK, so I've got some questions here from the test. Which landmark is a prehistoric monument which still stands in the English county of Wiltshire?
Anne Widdecombe.
Near enough, Stonehenge. Who's the patron saint of Scotland?
Aye. Who is the patron saint of Scotland? Good old who? Aye. Who?
But they've got questions specifically for people coming from Eastern Europe. Why is this tap dripping?
They are doing a campaign to try and sort of stop people coming over, which I'm proud to say I'm going to be the face of.
The most amazing thing I read this week is it said from the census they found out that 140,000 people can't speak English. But how did they fill the census in?
Really badly.
It was saying that our second language now in this country is Polish.
Yeah, no, they said that in the paper, but the Daily Mail wrote this massive thing going, our second language is now Polish, like they were angry about it. Our second language is always going to be a foreign language, Daily Mail.
When you're talking about the Daily Mail...
They said that in London there was like 100 languages listed as main languages that weren't English. And none of them contained please, thank you, excuse me.
Because it's friendly up north.
I hate it when Northerners moan about London. They're always going, oh, it's not very
My
friendly
daughter
down there on the
lives
tube.
here
It's
and
not very
loves
friendly
it.
on the tube. You think, it's
Oh,
a
come
tube
on.
train, you're going somewhere. It's not a bleeding carnival.
Come on. Come or Dick Van Dyke, but you want someone to give you a smile, don't you?
I totally agree with Sean. I don't want people talking to us on public transport. The tube is the way it should be in London. The tube just mimics London life perfectly. Just get on, look at the floor, go home, wait to die. That's how it's done. I love the fact that someone could burst into flames on the tube and all you'd get is a couple of people looking up from a Kindle going, prick.
Should we have a look and see if this is up there? Yes, the government is to introduce a new citizenship test. Personally, I think if you've got the stamina, determination and willpower to hang on to the underside of a lorry for 18 hours, fuck the test, welcome to Britain. So at the end of that round, Sean, Joe and Tina have 2 points. John, Rachel and Chris have 1. So our next round is Pick of the Polls. Sean, Tina, Joe, pick a question.
The bored-looking lady.
OK, here's your related question. Most people secretly want to do another job, true or false?
I'd say 99.9% of people would like to change their job.
I would.
What do you think your true calling is? What's your true calling?
I'd love to be a tax inspector.
I've never...
I've been working on my knock. Listen to my knock.
I don't know what a tax inspector's not. I've never met one, so I don't know.
You know, see T-shirts? You know the jobs you see on T-shirts, like beer taster general. I'd like to be that, or boob inspector. Leader of the Pussy Patrol. Those jobs. Can you actually get those
I
jobs?
ain't giving that job up. You'll have to wrestle me for it. It took me years to get to be leader of the Pussy Patrol.
And if you've got a missing cat, you can contact me.
What about you, Joe? Bet you'd like a different job, wouldn't you?
Toss up between a dinner lady or a falconer. Either or.
Dinner lady?
Yeah. Yes, I would.
I think there's absolutely zero chance that Joe would ever pass the CRB check to make a dinner lady.
I'd quite like to be a sniper. I've bought the bits and pieces already, so...
In an official capacity, or like for the army, or do you think in a...
freelance.
Tina, what do you think you would do if you had a job?
Probably be a... I'd like to be a diving instructor. No, a politician, to be honest.
Politician?
Quite seriously, yeah.
That's a great job to have. What would you do, John, if you weren't doing this?
I'd quite like to be a milkman. A real buzz at giving people milk. But in my experience, unless you've got the uniform, it's weird. You just knock on someone's door with some milk and go, there you go.
If I couldn't do this, I'd like to be a zookeeper. But I wouldn't touch any shit.
I've got a friend who's a zookeeper, and it is an amazing job.
I've got a friend
Is this true? Really?
He's got a dangerous wild animal rescue facility in Woking, this little house in Essex. There's an emu, and he gave me an emu egg, which looks like a dino egg. It's bright green, and I made an omelette out of it the other day.
Oh. Well, that's...
Oh,
Sorry, is this a rescue centre for the animals? 'Cause
yeah.
if you're... If you're eating some of them...
Emu. No, it's an emu
We didn't
egg.
get the funding we were hoping for, so...
Well, Beaky hasn't got a boyfriend, so you're not eating it wouldn't be an emu because it's not fertilised. It's just an egg. It's
Go
just like
very
a
nicely
massive-
with the leopard bacon.
I'm sorry, Let's get some answers on this. So, most people secretly want to do another job, true or false? What are you're going to go... True! True. John?
We think it's true.
OK, I can tell you the answer is true. 54% of people secretly want to do another job. And the winner is the name of our final round. Here's your question. Most annoying thing couples do? Well, let's go to our specialist on this. John, what is the most annoying thing that loving couples do?
It's when they finish each other's...
sentences.
What pisses me off about my male friends is they... Because couples is great, isn't it, when you're in a relationship, but then men feel this obligation to pretend she won't let him come out, when really they just don't want to say to their mates, I'd rather watch a film and shag.
Yeah.
And listen to you moan on about your life. But they go, yeah, I'd love to calm down a boozer, but she won't fucking let up.
Yeah.
Just say it. Your relationship is better than your friendship with me. I'll take it. I don't give a shit.
Thing is, John, they're not even watching a DVD or having sex. They'd just rather not go out with you.
That's a lie. That's a lie. They are watching a DVD because I'm watching through their window. You can change your plans, but I'll still be there, whether you know.
Is it when they get captured by Somalian pirates? That's annoying. Oh, God. How long is this going to drag on for?
And they're away for months and they want to whip round and... Oh.
You're a couple. You don't go round the Horn of Africa. What are you thinking?
What do you think, Joe?
They're quicker on pedlos.
What do you think, Tina? Most annoying thing couples do?
Lie to each other?
It's not annoying, is it? It's essential.
So you're newly married, right? You've been married less than a year.
Yep.
Do you ever get the sense you're annoying other people? When you go out to dinner in a restaurant, do you talk to each other?
Yeah.
that
When we
annoys
go
me.
out as a couple, though, he can't get a word in edgeways. He's quite quiet.
I'm like that with my husband. Oh. He can't get a word in. He's in the hotel at the moment, hungover.
He's in the hotel hungover?
Yeah, it was my birthday yesterday.
Right. And he drank through that, did he? Sure he did, sure.
So what really annoys me about couples is when they don't refuse to put an offer in on any of the villas in Place in the Sun. And Tom and Tina have decided not to make an offer on any of the properties we've seen today. I just watched you look at 5 properties. What was wrong with that kitchen? You can paint it, you stupid bastard. You're wasting everyone's time.
What do you think, Chris? What's the most annoying thing couples do?
Ask you to join in.
No, they do not do that.
Not let you join in.
Correct.
Is it argue in public?
That's the right thing.
Yes.
Yes, the most annoying thing that couples do is argue in front of other people. My dad had an amazing technique to avoid arguments in our house. He left when I was 2. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show. And I can tell you it's a draw. Everyone's a winner.
Tonight on 8 out of 10 Cats, keep dancing. It's Tess Daly. Grin and Barnett. It's Stephen Mangan. And their team captain, John Richardson. And facing them tonight, flying without wings, it's Ian Egan. Law and Disorder. It's Tony Law. And their team captain, John Locke. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy
Hello and welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, the average man in Glasgow owns 2 suits, one for court and the other for the next time they go to court? 83% of teenage girls keep a diary, which it turns out is very bad news for 70s DJs. And 1 in 8 men try to lose weight before going on holiday. I decided to cheat. I got myself one of those things that makes you look thinner on the beach. A fat girlfriend. Right, let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. It's our panellists' job to guess the British public's top 3 most popular talking points. John, Tess, Stephen, what do you think people have been talking about this week?
What about old Chris Hoon?
Oh, yes.
Go on, so explain the story, John. What's the full story?
Well, 10 years ago, Chris Hoon was doing 69 in a 50, and he had 9 points. He didn't want to lose his licence, so allegedly he bullied his wife into taking the points. Then he left his wife for a woman who genuinely used to do the PR for Top of the Pops. Now, she has had a career, hasn't she? PR for Top of the Pops, Chris Hoon, and I wouldn't be surprised if she turned out to be your accountant. She has had a bad... But the thing is, he basically said to his wife, take these points, and she took them at the time, and then she found out he'd been cheating on her. So she went to a newspaper and said, I've got this story, do you think I'll get into trouble?
Didn't she buy a wire off the internet, a recording device, and recorded him confessing in order to sell it to the paper?
She tried.
That's devious.
But the mistake he's made is that he hasn't married someone. You can only do that if you marry someone who looks like you. So Brian May and Anita Dobson, they do it all the time. He drives like a nutter, pissed, and then he says, it was Anita that was driving. Marry someone who looks like you. Terrible sex life, obviously.
Oh, I don't know.
My favourite thing about all of it is the texts from his son, which, when you read them, are just staggering. The one on Christmas Day is pretty much like, hope you have a great Christmas, love you, Dad. Well, I hate you, so fuck off.
There was another exchange which I think is even better. This is Chris Hoon saying to his son, Peter, I do hope your exams are going OK, despite everything over the last few weeks. Thinking of you, love you, Dad. P.S. It's Grandad's birthday today. And then his son texts back, don't text me, you fat piece of shit.
That mouthy son of his, he better hope he doesn't get put in prison, because he's going to come out all hardened, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Go, yeah, remember them fucking texts you sent me? Who's a fat bastard now, you fucking muppet? Wow.
Kean, would you take points for your partner? Your partner said Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
Well, that seems like a very honest answer.
I mean, first of all, you know, I'm not divorced, and you know, my son doesn't think I'm a prick. So, them two things put together, you know, I would like to think that as a family we would stick together.
You like to think you'd get away with it?
I do that. I take points from my wife, yeah. She drives like a lunatic.
I bet his wife is spitting.
Now, the other thing about it, does he deserve to go to jail? Because basically his crime is he did 69 miles in a 50 zone and he's going to jail. He has played that very, very badly.
Yeah. He's a div, though, because, you know, I mean, a whole political career down the toilet for 3 points is one thing, but he's besmirched the good name of politicians. Very, very rarely are in the news for the wrong... Occasionally you'll get the... Jeffrey Archer, I remember, you know, he was supposed to have shagged prostitutes and he lied in court. But apart from... Well, Jonathan Aitken, he lied in court. But apart from those two... Well, you had Neil Hamilton getting brown envelopes full of cash from Mohammed Al-Fayed. But apart... Well, you also had Jackie Smith and her husband putting porn movies on expenses. So, and the bloke who put his duck house on expenses. And John Major, when he did his Back to Basics thing, he was nobbing Edwina Curry. We had cash for questions, cash for honours, cash for influence, arms to Iraq. But apart from those scandals, politicians have had a very, very good name in this country.
Well, I can tell you that Chris Hoon is not in our top 3, but Chris Hoon's girlfriend is bisexual, just like he'll be by the time he comes out of prison. Sean, Tony, Kean.
Yes.
What do you think? What have the nation been talking about this week?
Gay marriage has been, it's been passed. It's made civil partnerships are now worthless. They're like Jessop's vouchers for telescopes.
More Tories voted against the bill than for it, 136 against, 127 for.
I don't know what they're worried about. They think there's going to be like leather confetti flying around. Oh, you can't have them getting married. There's bloody leather confetti.
A lot of the Tories who voted against it probably are, you know, deep back in the old closet anyway and like a bit of the old naughty. So they're like, well, fuck that. We're not going to let anyone else be happy while I'm stuck in this loveless sham of a marriage when really I want to be, you know.
You're not saying a lot of the key words in this, are you? A lot of the key bits of information in this sentence, you're going,
you know where we're at. We all know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What I don't understand is they can't force view change. Like, vicars are still going to be against it, aren't they? So the actual ceremony is still going to be quite... When you get to the end, you'll have the vicar going, does anybody else know of any lawful impediment? Why, these two heathens should not be wet.
What does the Bible say?
The Catholic Church, I don't think, approve of gay marriage because the kind of people they're attracted to aren't old enough to get married. This is crazy.
But isn't this one of those things we're going to look back at in a few years? We're going to say, I can't believe there wasn't such a thing as gay marriage until 2013. You know what I mean? We're going to look back at it and say, what?
Yeah.
Can you believe there wasn't such a thing as gay marriage in church?
Eventually, people go, I can't believe men used to marry women. That's mental. What? That's nuts.
What's the world coming to?
They're not compatible, are they, men and women? It seems mental when you look back at it.
I'd marry a man. You marry a man, you take turns putting the bins out.
Let's have a look and see whether gay marriage is up there. Yes, MPs have passed a bill to make gay marriage legal, even if it's a way of life you yourself don't subscribe to. Even if you think it's weird or somehow against nature, you still have to respect people's right to be a Tory MP. John, Tess, Stephen, what else have people been talking about this week?
The horse burgers, it's gone mad. It's affected Burger King, and that's what seems to surprise people. But if your main burger is called a Whopper, that's a fair admission that even you don't know what's inside it. Yeah, you want a flame grilled Whopper, do you? Get that downside, I'm not going to tell you. Even their fish burgers have got seahorse in it.
I don't understand the fuss. I really don't. We eat cows, pigs, chickens.
Yeah.
Everyone's known for years that sausages are basically lips and labia and toenails. What's wrong with a bit of horse?
Didn't the French company who made a lot of these meals, though, these packaged meals with the horse meat in it, they said they've defended themselves by saying there's no taboo about eating horse in France. But they missed the point because the fact is we didn't know there was horse meat in it, so we didn't have the choice.
It's better now it's a French company. Isn't it a company called, like, Gel Pack or something that sounds
Commie
rank?
Gel.
Yeah, that sounds rank anyway. But the first few companies were all called, like, O'Cuddleton's Orchard and things like that. It just sounded like one little farmer who's got, I've got a few things, and sometimes one dies a bit and I'll put it in a burger.
Apparently Finder's beef lasagnas were 100% horse.
Yes! 100%.
100%, so what, not even any pasta? That's terrible. Sure, you need some cheese for it to be a lasagna. It was layers of horse on top of horse, with sprinkled horse on top of that. So would you eat horse?
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a fussy eater.
That's a lovely way, but I'm not a fussy eater.
This Christmas, instead of a turkey, we had a horse. We had a horse, and on the table there, with all the trimmings.
All the trimmings.
You took on quite a lot when you said, I'll have a leg. You know, it's lovely horse.
Massive giblets.
We had a donkey
radish.
inside it. We had a donkey inside it.
And inside the donkey, what?
Well, we had a koala.
A koala.
What I want to know is, what are the cows doing that were meant to be in the burgers? Where are they hiding? Have they sneaked off somewhere? They've like not gone into work.
There's a couple down here, actually.
And now they're all hiding, disguised somewhere. Are they like the French Resistance? Are they living in people's houses?
A very good thing will come out of all this, that people in general, whatever you eat, even if you eat, like, corn, you still don't know what's in it. People are far too trusting of packaging. We just buy something. Tesco packaging might as well just say on it, close your eyes, open your mouth, Tesco, go and give you Even no idea. Just eat this shit. It's brown, it's meaty.
What's the end of that phrase? Close your...
Open your mouth, close your eyes. Tesco gonna give you a good surprise.
you have a look and see whether horse meat is up there? Yes, the controversy over horse meat continues. Tesco pulled products off their shelves this week. That is a case of shutting the stable door after the horse has bolted into the mincer at the meat processing plant. Sean Steen, what else is the nation be talking about?
The Richard III's body has been found in a car park in Leicester.
Will they get the killer?
Yeah.
I like the fact his feet were missing, apparently, because in the 1600s they were extending the friary under which he was buried, and some builders digging down accidentally cut his feet off. So all that shows is the builders haven't changed in 400 years, have they? It's amazing what they can tell from the skeleton. They're very clever now. They know that his hands were tied like that. They know he got a massive whack on the back of his head, which take a chunk out of his skull out. And you could see his brain through the back of his head. And as he was being carried off, he got stabbed in the arse with a dagger. But if you do go out in Leicester on a Saturday night, what do you expect?
It's worth thinking about if you had to be buried in a car park, which one? I'm picking the Knaresborough Civic Council car park. I'm Bagsy in that.
Good choice.
It's an amazing car park. It's cheap. It overlooks the viaduct. It's by the ruins of the castle. You've got a bowling green, and it's right by the police station, so you're safe.
Do you reckon he had a Brummie accent?
Well, they think he might because of the way he spelt certain words.
But how can they figure that one out? Like, he had a Brummie accent.
They can't.
No, exactly.
They're full of shit.
Exactly.
Tony, do you think you would make a good medieval king?
Oh, I've already done it. Yeah, it was all right. I was a better Dark Age king, to be honest. More of an axe-type battler. Swords are a bit dandy. I was more... Oh.
You were rubbish as a pharaoh, though, weren't you? You didn't do very well.
Oh, not a good pharaoh. No. Not a good pharaoh at all. Too hot for me, and I'm a bit pale.
He was the last king to die in battle, that's when royals really deserved or earned their place, their crown. I think Prince Charles, the most dangerous thing he's done is pinch Camilla's arse.
That's pretty dangerous.
Yeah, because she could either hit you or sleep with you.
You don't need her, though.
If it kicks off, she could end up in a Tesco's value burger. Let's have a look and see if Richard III is up there in our topical news quiz. Most talked about day. Yes, archaeologists have uncovered the bones of Richard III in a Leicester car park. The remains of Richard III have been sitting in the car park since 1485. The good news is the first 2 hours were free. So at the end of that round, it's 2 points to Sean's team and 1 point to John's team. Our next round is pick of the poll. Sean, Tony and Cian, what do you like the look of?
I like the look of that young man there.
You have chosen Cian Egan. I just always when I say your name, I feel like I'm saying Kevin Keegan, but I've had a stroke. Here's your question. Most people would rather be in a band than a solo singer, true or false?
I'd like to be in Little Mix. I'd like to be like the one and go, what's he doing in Little Mix? No, but they just get a new member, then Little Mix have announced they've got a new member, and it's me. What would you...
I reckon most people prefer to be in a band.
Because you got friends around you.
Yeah, it's like, the whole idea of being in a band, It's a bit cooler than I'm a singer on my own.
A bit cooler? You know you were in Westlife, right?
Yes, I know I was in Westlife.
Can you name all the other members?
Did you know each other growing up, all of you guys?
Yeah, we did, yeah. We went to school together.
That's proper band then, right? That's
did
what
you?
want.
I didn't realise you went to school together. I thought you were...
No, we went to school together.
So you knew each other since what age?
Well, me, Shane and Mark we were in the same class as each other and we started the band up and then Brian and Nicky joined about a year later.
At what point did Louis swoop?
Very early.
So are you a solo artist now?
No, I'm not a solo artist. I was a member of a boy band for 15 years.
And your voice is just broken.
It's just breaking. It's only happened in 10 years.
I had to leave. They threw you out. Okay. What about you, Stephen? Would you rather be in a band? What would you think?
I was in a band at school, yeah.
You were in a band at school. What were they called?
They were called Aragon.
Oh, they're already my favourite band.
We went through a lot of names. We were Zenith for a while. But then we realised there was a double glazing firm called Zenith. We recorded an album, The Wizard's Dream.
The wizard's dream. Why not the wizard's sleeve?
Is this true? Is this
Yeah,
absolutely
it's all true.
But why do you think you didn't make it?
Because we were ahead of our time, Sean.
Right.
And behind our time. There was no time that we would have fitted in at all.
John, any musical aspirations? Would you ever...
The only band I would like to be in is the Proclaimers.
Why the Proclaimers? Why would you want to be...
Why would you not want to be in the Proclaimers? There's a song that just ends with 5 minutes of them both screaming the word Gene. Gene! That's it. And they're in a band and they do that, and they're so cool. But they hate the English so much. It's a real barrier. I'd have to pretend from the beginning to be a brother that they didn't know about. Hello!
Tess, have you ever been...
I haven't been in a band, but I've been in quite a few bands' videos.
Which videos were you in?
I did 2 Duran Duran videos, and then I was in 2 Soul to Soul videos, a Beloved video, the
Soul
one
to
where
Soul,
everyone was
Beloved Duran Duran.
naked, bar a few little, plasters and...
You were in that one?
I was in that one,
What
honey.
one's that? Plasters?
But, elastoplast and the right,
What a sexy look that is.
Nothing.
I'm
Well, just
naked
so
and I
that
might
you
have
know, you
cut my
could
nipples.
preserve your muscles.
I'm in an Elton John video. You see, he keeps it at home.
Sure. Why not?
I've only got one song on my iPod, which is Rock Around the Clock. And I have it on shuffle. So 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, it finishes. 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Just for hours on end
Happy
driving.
days.
Drives my wife
It
mental.
answers a lot of questions, though.
That's why she drives like that.
1, 2, 3 o'clock. Over and over again.
OK, let's get some on. So most people would rather be in a band than a solo singer. What are you going to go for, Sean?
Band.
Band?
You think band? What do you guys think?
I think solo singer.
Solo.
Solo singer, OK. I can tell you the answer is 72% of people would rather be in a band than a solo singer. You're right. So the winner is the name of our final round. Here's your question. Top advice you'd give your younger self?
I know what I'd say. I'd say, it doesn't matter how curious you are, don't stick your cock in that barrel.
Top advice, what would you tell yourself?
It's difficult for me because I am my younger self. It's just more a question for you old bastards, really, isn't it? I wish I'd walked my dog more. That's a serious one. Just telling you, if you're a dog owner and it's raining, one day that dog will be dead, and you'll think, I should have taken him down the canal.
Did you never walk your dog?
Not a lot, really. I was out banging. Well, more to the point, I was indoors watching videos. But
Steve, how old were you when you joined Westlife?
I was 16 when it started.
So what advice would you give your younger self? What do you think?
There was one incident where me and one of the other guys in the band, I won't mention any names, pissed in George Michael's back garden and got caught, which wasn't a good incident.
You got caught by George Michael with your cock out? That is a disaster. Stephen, what do you think?
I would say to myself, denim jacket with Saxon written in biro on the back with pixie boots is not a good look.
Yet.
What I would say if I met my younger self is, less of that, a bit more of that. Right?
Yeah.
Less of that, stop that, do that.
Stop being such a dick.
No.
That's what I'd say to me.
All right.
Yeah. The younger me, not the cool me now.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean the younger dickheadish me.
Yeah, where's he gone?
Yeah.
Where's he hiding?
Depends how young you're talking now, doesn't it? If you're going really young, stop crying and shit in your pants. And then right through to, I know you think she's gone out, but she's going to come back early, so stop the video and take it out. About 5 minutes before you thought you were going to. Sorry, Mum. Techniques.
Tess, what do you think? What advice would you give your younger self?
Never cut your own hair.
Were you cutting your own hair?
Yes. Nail scissors out the bathroom cabinet, have a little trim, a little bit more, and then before you know it, it's not good. It's not
Look
good.
at mine, I'm the before.
Stay away from the scissors. Stay away.
This isn't a hairstyle, this is weather.
I would say don't shave the little bit of hair on the small of your back before you go on the rugby tour, because no one's going to see it anyway, and it'll just keep growing back stronger and stronger for the rest of your life. And now it looks like you've got a little bunny's tail.
And the other one, talking of shaving, is be very careful when you're shaving your balls, because you will nick yourself.
Finally.
Oh, dude.
Finally, some advice we can use.
You've got to be using... You've got to use Nair. You got to use Nair. You can't be getting a blade near those. No, Nair.
What's that? The no-no thing.
Nair, hair removal cream. If you're going after the balls, you don't bring the razor anywhere near the neighborhood. Shit.
Okay, next
Well,
question,
you've just
Jimmy.
found that. Okay. Top advice you'd give your younger self?
My dad said to me, never take any advice from anyone. Very wise.
It's getting in your head there.
And also, I'd say, hey, don't get so upset about that rejection letter from Jim. Will fix it. It's actually a good thing.
Okay, to do with being insecure. There's your clue.
Be more confident.
That is exactly the right answer. Yeah. Yes, the top advice you'd give your younger self is to be more confident. If I went back in time, I'd say to my younger self, you need to be more confident. And my younger self would say, what the fuck have you done to my teeth? Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are Sean, Tony and Cian have 3 points, John, Tess and Stephen have 2 points.
Tonight on 8 out of 10 Cats, breaking news, it's Christian Guru Murthy. Lucky Charmer, it's David O'Doherty. And their team captain, John Richardson. And facing them tonight, so good they named her once. It's Jamelia. Paul Party. It's Paul Foot. And their team captain, Sean Locke. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy Carr.
And welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, 1 in 8 adults in this country own a onesie? That's great, although I think there's a time and a place for a onesie. The place, your living room, the time, when you're 6. 79% of people enjoy experimenting with their meals, particularly the staff at Findus. And cat owners are 30% less likely to have a heart attack, mainly because their heart's already been broken. Right, let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. It's our panellists' job to guess the British public's top 3 most popular talking points. Sean, Jamelia, Paul, what have the nation been talking about this week?
Well, this week I've counted 86 sheep, about 32 cows, 7 ducks, but I haven't seen a single horse. None. So something's going on. The meat scandal.
The meat scandal.
Yeah. The horse meat.
And there's
mad,
like,
isn't
it's sort of rolled on this week, and they're saying it might be deliberate. This isn't just an accident.
Horses throwing themselves into abattoirs.
Apparently, it's criminal gangs have been doing this. Criminal gangs from Poland, Romania and Russia are suspected of orchestrating a conspiracy worth millions of pounds by passing off horse meat as beef. What do you think? What did you...
Well, the whole problem with the story is that it's now screwing with all our notions of what we like. I thought I liked beef, but actually I like horse. I'm very confused now, you know.
It's getting more ridiculous because now there's donkey is also being mentioned. And the man said yesterday they hadn't yet tested for dogs and rats. And then where do you go after that? Dead relatives, ex-members of Destiny's Child, and the last pope.
Oh, no, this is my favourite quote of the whole thing. This is from the Findus website. They state they use the best ingredients and a generous pinch of imagination. This imagination tastes a bit like a horse.
Is it to do with the decline in arts and crafts?
Tell me more, Paul.
Well, because people are not doing so many arts and crafts, they're not using glue as much. So that's why they're having to put it all in the burgers. So if they could get more children back into crafts, then they could use horses again for their proper purpose, which is glue.
When I saw the whole horse meat scandal, I didn't really care, because I'm not a fan of horses. I've intentionally eaten horse before. It was lovely. I enjoyed it in France.
Intentionally?
yeah, it was on the menu, and I was like, I hate horses. I'm going to have that. I'm petrified of horses. I've got a horse story, but I don't know if.
What do you mean you've got a horse? Yeah, I want to hear a horse story. What's a horse story? Settle in, everyone.
Yeah, settle in. Right, so when I was 12, my school trip was to London, and we went to see, I think it's called the Queen's Guards, where they're on horses and with the thing. And so all of my classmates were stroking the horse, and then I went to go and stroke the horse, and the man kicked me and said, "Piss off, you black bitch," and made the horse, and then the horse went in front of me.
Sorry, can I just clarify? Was it the horse that said that? If it's a racist horse, then... Now, how weird would you feel about that if there was a talking horse? Wow, this is magical, this is amazing. But he's a racist. Oh, no.
It was like, you know, I'm over the racism, it's not a problem. He got sacked, so it's fine. Honestly, I'm absolutely fine with it.
You've forgiven a racist, but not a horse.
No, I think you make a very good point. Grind them up, put them in a burger.
The problem with meat is that it all looks the same. And what they should do is they should make it like rock. So when you've got beef, it just says cow right the way through it.
You know the cookie cutters you can get? You make different shapes for things. You have like cookies. Just one shape like a horse. So any burgers that are horse, just come in a horse shape.
Wow, if that's the case, I think I've eaten a lot of dinosaur.
OK, let's have a look and see if it's up there. Yes, the most talked about thing. Yes, the horse meat scandal continues. This meat scandal has opened up a real can of worms, or as our Romanian suppliers would call it, a real can of venison. Johnstein, what else have the nation been talking about this week?
Surely the Pope?
Surely the Pope.
This is a huge story, isn't it?
Well, the Pope sort of woke up on Monday and thought, oh, God, got to go to work.
Well, in fairness, he doesn't have to be at work till Sunday.
Well, yeah, that's true.
That's not true, because the week that's in it, I think he had to write 1 million Valentine's cards to all the nuns afterwards.
God was not happy at all about this, was he?
No, did you see the lightning bolt?
So this is a picture of the Vatican 12 hours after the Pope resigned.
If the church had any sense, they would have a news story after that saying there was a nun in there doing some paperwork and she's pregnant now.
Why do the popes always start old?
Well, they're talking about the Ghanaian Cardinal Peter Turkson being the next Pope. That's him with Chris Hume there. You can see Chris Hume's asking him to take a few points for him.
What I want to know is, if we're going to have a black Pope, when are we going to have a black Queen? No talk of a black Queen, is there?
Keep an eye on Kate Middleton.
Yeah.
That's her. But I'm
I don't know what that means.
Explain that one. Well, I'm saying maybe her baby is going to be black, because it's probably not.
The Queen's not elected, is it? No, that's a serious answer.
Yeah, but that's what makes it weird, that people choose the Pope. Shouldn't it be someone who something magical has happened to? You know, like you got Jesus, like he was the guy, because, you know, you knew... No, I'm just saying, you know that he was chosen by God because he'd done magic things. It should more, you know...
So you think, what, Paul Daniels? Who are you? Let's have a look and see if the Pope's up there. Yes, the Pope's resigned. Yes, the Pope has resigned. He's going to be difficult to replace. Where are we going to find another paedophile apologist who's also a Nazi? OK.
Can I just do a little disclaimer? Can we just make sure we don't put the bit about me talking about she might have a black baby? I'm really scared of the royal family.
Are you genuinely scared of the royal family?
I'm just scared that they can kill you, they can organise.
Once a decade, they do one of their own. They don't go outside the family.
If Kate Middleton has a white baby, they'll just ignore you. If she has a black baby, they'll have their own problems to deal with. There'll be a lot of questions to ask.
The main worry is not if it's black, it's whether it's ginger. That's the main worry. What do you think everyone's worried about?
I feel much better now because, like, more of us have said stuff now, so at least...
Sean, Jamelia, Paul, what else have the nation been talking about?
Well, there's been this business in North Korea with their successful nuclear test.
They're trying to build a nuclear warhead small enough to go on a missile, basically.
Okay.
So they've miniaturised it. It has a range of 1,000 kilometres, so it could hit Japan or China, but not the US or UK. So if you're watching North Korea, fuck you. Now, if you had access to a nuclear weapon, John, what would you bomb?
I don't think I'd bomb anyone, because then the threat's gone. I'd just carry it around with me. I'm like that.
I'm going to check in on the news now. News. Christian, do you think North Korea are a serious threat, or are they laughable?
Well, who knows? They've got nuclear weapons, and they are ruled by a sort of a slightly crazy guy who's got being a psychopath running in the family. So you might say they're a threat. On the other hand, the only people who've used nuclear weapons are the United States.
Unusual for a newsreader, because that sounds there's a bit of bias in there.
No.
You did say he's a psychopath, his dad. You wouldn't say that on Channel 4 News. You go, and we've news about the nuclear test in North Korea from Kim Jong-un, whose dad we all know.
Yes.
You would not do that on the news, would you?
I'm not on the news.
So that's going to turn out bad.
Have you not
Who's the nuttiest person you've had to deal with then?
In the recent future, Quentin Tarantino. Recent past, rather. Quentin Tarantino.
Why did you have a problem with Quentin Tarantino?
He got very cross with me or my questions.
Well, let's have a little look, shall we?
Why are you so sure that there's no link between enjoying movie violence and enjoying real violence?
I'm going to tell you why I'm so sure. Do not ask me a question like that. I'm not biting. I refuse your question.
Why?
Because I refuse your question. I'm not your slave and you're not my master. You can't make me dance through your thing. I'm not a monkey.
I can't make you answer anything. I'm asking you interesting questions.
And I'm saying I refuse.
So you don't want to talk about anything serious?
I don't want to talk about what you want to talk about. I don't want to talk about the implications of violence. I haven't wanted. Because the reason I don't want to talk about it is I've said everything I have to say about it.
No, but you haven't fleshed it out. That's the only reason.
It's not my job to flesh it out.
No, it's my job to try and ask you to.
And I'm shutting your butt down.
You were so composed.
I didn't know he'd shut your butt down.
Yeah. You have a butt that will not quit. I think that's what Beyonce would say.
Why did that happen then? What did he do?
I think he was in a really bad mood, and he got very angry. And he'd given this quote to a magazine saying, directors don't get better as they get older, they should know when to quit. And I said, so are you getting better or worse as you get older?
Oh, God.
And he said, well, what do you think? And I said, well, I actually like your movies. And at that point, he went, oh, I've screwed up here.
I think I'd still be quite pissed off if someone said, what do you think of my movies? And I went, I actually like them. They're clearly a pile of shit, but for some reason, I love shoveling that shit down my face.
OK, well, we were talking about North Korea. I can tell you that's not one of the most talked about things this week. But North Korea has caused outrage after carrying out nuclear weapons tests. The test was executed perfectly, as were all the people who criticised it. Johnstein, what else have the nation been talking about this week?
Oh, it's been Valentine's Day, hasn't it? I imagine people are talking about love and all that stuff.
Who did you send a Valentine to?
I didn't, no. I view Valentine's Day like the Polish food aisle of a supermarket. I don't really know what it's for, but I like to look at it.
I've been thinking, because they've been talking about different gifts you can give people on Valentine's Day, and the worst gift, apparently, is petrol station flowers. But then how do you know they're petrol station flowers? I mean, you can't actually... unless, of course, they've all been mangled through that night hatch. But that's how they've gone through. But also, it gets a bad press, the petrol station flowers, because if you buy flowers in a florist, there's no petrol, or packets of Maltesers, or anything. So actually, I would rather receive petrol station flowers from someone, because then I would know that I had a discerning lover who shopped at flexible shops.
Valentine's Day, I think, is just too much pressure, and it's for uninventive people. Everyone gives red roses and chocolates. It's like, think of something yourself, like, do something a little bit more creative. Like, to me,
I tried
just
that.
so...
I tried that, but it backfired.
Yeah, because it's rubbish.
What did you try, Sean?
I made a card. Made a card for my wife/girlfriend lodger, and I made it myself. And she didn't like it.
That's sweet, though. No, that's
Yeah, but I do.
better.
So what it is, I cut a picture of a heart out of a cigarette packet.
Creative.
On a card.
Isn't that the thing about Valentine's? Valentine's is that time when you can tell people, you know, if you like them. I don't know if you read... Do you read Heat magazines? Anyone read Heat magazine?
Is that the magazine that reviews different boilers and lagging jackets?
This much, in a way. I think it's different in the Republic of Ireland. Because they do a thing every year where they talk about people's weird crush. So the number one weird crush, as voted for by the British public, is Russell Howard, which doesn't seem that weird to me. Number two, if you can see that. So you are a weird crush, which is such a terrible backhanded compliment.
Yeah.
Isn't it? So it's like saying you don't sweat much for a fat girl.
Weird crush is also John's signature lovemaking style as well.
They sent me a badge. I think it says something on it like, not quite weird enough. I mean, what a chat-up line that is. The lady's just looking for a man who says, I'm mental, but not very.
I can't help thinking, you know, if you look at this panel, there are two people who are single who might get on quite well. And we've got Jamelia.
You're single, right?
Stop me, I'm really embarrassed.
Like a playground now.
Too plenty John.
She does.
You're just not weird enough for me, Jamelia.
Just get on with it. Just, you know.
Get down to business.
I haven't got, yeah.
And it is a business with me.
Every bloody week.
You're going to feel pretty bad when one week I come in and I'm in a relationship and there's nothing to talk about. Me and Sue. Sue and I.
I can imagine you getting into a relationship where you're one of those couples that talk about, well, Sue and I think. Like, even on the show, if she wasn't here, you go, so what have people been talking about this week? And you go, well, Sue and I have been talking quite a lot about beef burgers and
I won't be
Valentine's.
doing this show if I have a relationship. I ain't leaving the house, I ain't doing gigs. Comedy's just one bit. I mean, you two are in relationships. You only do comedy because you're not really happy in them.
OK, let's have a look and see if Valentine's Day's up there. Yes, it was Valentine's Day yesterday. It's named after St. Valentine, the patron saint of awkward meals at Pizza Express. So those were the most talked about things this week. But in other news, Paralympian Oscar Pistorius has been arrested for shooting and killing his girlfriend. Finally, a story Lance Armstrong can read and think, I'm actually not that bad a bloke. So at the end of that round, Sean's team have 1 point, John's team have 2 points. So our next round is pick of the polls. Sean, Jamelia, Paul, pick a question.
Lady with the telephones.
Lady with 2 phones. OK, well, this week a study found that people look at their phones 150 times a day. So we asked our studio audience, would you describe yourself as a tech addict, yes or no?
Well, I don't feel I have to answer that question, and I'm shutting your butt down. I've answered that question before, and I don't see what you've got a right to talk about. I've said all I want to say on that subject. I'm not
do you
talk
think,
about it.
but do you think that
I'm not your...
Would you describe
I'm not your slave, and you're not my master.
Would you describe yourself as a tech addict? No, but would you describe yourself as a tech addict? OK. Are you obsessed by technology?
I would have said I was a tech addict. I've been a tech addict all my life, but I'm now getting to this point where everyone is a tech addict and I'm finding it slightly repellent.
My feeling is that we've lost what I call shite talk, which is where 10 years ago an entire evening of conversation could be based around an easily verifiable untrue fact. You know, somebody like, do you remember when Wesley Snipes was in Grange Hill? Yeah, I think think I do. And someone's just like, not true. Hashtag I'm so lonely.
What annoys me is I think people have lost is just the ability to look out of a window on a train. People can't, they sit there looking at old text messages, conversations you've had in the past, because you can't bear to think for a second. Like old people didn't do. They didn't get on a bus with a shoebox full of letters.
I mean, it's all well and good with the fancy things, but to be honest, I got a new Hoover recently with a spectacularly fast cable recoil on it. You know what I mean? And because all of that sort of technology just exists in the realm of wizardry, but then you put your foot on this, yoink, and you're like, future, I like it. I do aspire to once being trapped somewhere with just the Hoover, and then I'd get the plug end, and I'd fire it up like that, and then just hit the button, hold on to it, and
It's interesting why they invented that, was that someone who was hoovering, needed to get out of there fast. There's a situation where they're hoovering and think, shit, I better get out of here. Bang! We're gone.
Well, let's get some answers on this. So, would you describe yourself as a tech addict? What do you think our audience said, yes or no?
Yes.
We'll go yes.
OK, so you think our audience would describe themselves as tech addicts? What do you think?
Addicts never self-identify as addicts, so people would say no.
Oh, it's a good answer. I can tell you the answer is no. Only 42% of people would describe themselves as tech addicts. And the winner is the name of our final round. Here's your question. Top thing people boast about.
Do a lot of people go on about being the 1990 East Leinster under-14s triple jump bronze medalist? No, they don't, because that was me.
It's inherently not British, is it? But people, like, it's a very American thing. So, you know, I'm so proud of me. You know, I used to be like, I would have 3 cans of cola a day, and now I got a job. I don't give a shit. The British people, you're boasting in Britain if someone says, how are you? And you go, yeah, I'm really well. You arrogant.
I boast about the fact that I can wear my left shoe on my right foot, my right shoe on my left foot.
Bullshit. There's no way a man could do that.
Yeah, I can, yeah. Look, there we go. It's a nice feeling. You just feel like, you know, you can do anything you want. You can go any direction you want. You're not bound by the usual rules. Try it with your shoes. It will work well.
I've done it. Anyone can do it.
You've got to walk around in them a bit.
Have a little walk. Have a little walk. Just see if it looks normal.
Walk around in them. Don't wander around.
I'll be honest with you, Sean. It makes me feel a little bit queasy.
There's always this thing. Whoa! It go around.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
It's a bit like when you're at...
Go, whoa! Yes.
It's a bit like when you're at Clark's and they say, do they fit? And you sort of... Something's not quite right.
People boast about their kids. That's the thing people go on and on and on about.
Do you brag about your kids?
I do down my kids a lot. I tell them how shit they are.
During the news? Actually on the news?
Christian, I can tell you the right answer is bragging about their kids.
Oh.
Yes, the top thing people boast about is their kids. I make it a rule never to boast about my kids. The last thing I want is for my girlfriend to find out about them. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are Sean, Paul and Jamila have 1 point, John, Christian and David have 4 points. They're tonight's winners!
Tonight on 8 out of 10 Cats, she's the one. It's Alex Jones. The Beard and the Wonderful. It's Joe Wilkinson. And their team captain, John Richardson. And facing them tonight, shut up, you slag! It's Danny Dyer. His legs go on for miles. It's Miles Jupp. And their team captain, Sean Locke. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy
Hello and welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, 1 in 5 women have been offended by a partner calling them curvy? On behalf of men everywhere, I'd just like to say, sorry, fatty. 79% of pet owners sleep with their pets. But be careful, the last time I did, when I woke up, my duvet was soaking wet and my goldfish was dead. And 12% of adults regularly get sucked into money-making schemes. I got sucked into a money-making scheme. I made 50 quid, and to be honest, it didn't taste half as bad as I expected. Right, let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. Tonight, it's our panellists' job to guess what the British public think are the top 3 most intriguing, unexplained phenomena. Sean's team. What are the weird, strange things that people are interested in?
Oh.
What do you think?
UFOs. UFOs.
Yes. I think he's saying UFOs.
UFO. Here we go, straight away.
UFO, what? Well, the unidentified flying object. I've always thought unidentified flying... As soon as they identify it, then it's just a flying object. And then if it lands, it's just an O. No, you believe in UFOs, don't you?
Yeah, I do, yeah, I've seen them.
You've seen them? What did you see when you saw them?
Well, I see a fucking UFO, didn't I? I don't know what it was, but it was flying about. It wasn't a helicopter, it wasn't a plane, it was a UFO.
Could it have been a kite?
Might have been a kite. I think it's ridiculous to think we're the only things out there, and it's depressing if we are, no? Do you know what I mean? We're the most intelligent things out there.
Well, not you
Not
specifically.
me, specifically.
We walked into that.
Miles, do you believe in aliens?
I'm not sure. I'm just not impressed by the fact that UFOs tend to be saucers. You'd just think that they evolve in some way. If you think about, you know, the changes that, for instance, the potato peeler has gone through in that time. Sort of imagine things from another planet might have developed their means of getting around a little bit more.
It's the fact that when they get here, they always probe us and have sex with us. Makes me think they probably come all the time, but we're just like Marbella. It's just where they come to get off with you. You want it work for you? Take your probe. I love it.
That's that weird. I mean, I think I've got little dogs that I bought recently, and we bring them to the vet about once every 3 weeks. And the vet, as soon as he sees my dogs, just goes, "Better put my finger up his bum." It must be a similar kind of thing. Maybe they're just a higher life form. They're trying to look out for us. Going,
You mean take the V off vet and you got ET? Yeah.
If aliens do land, I'd quite like to be the person that greets them off the spaceship.
I think the chances of you being elected to that post...
Well, I'd actually make a very good ambassador for the planet, actually, Jimmy.
What would you say when you met the
Well,
alien?
for a start, I'm polite. I know. I'd lay on a buffet. And my mum's got a car, so if they need driving about... happy to do it.
You do have the look of someone who's been abducted. They usually...
Yeah.
They go for your type.
No one believes us.
Well, that's the thing I was thinking, is if you had been abducted, you can't prove it, can you?
No, I can't.
You can only say you've been abducted.
Have you had people on the One Show about... you must have covered
We
UFOs.
have, yeah. I mean, Olivia Newton-John swears that she's seen a UFO.
Case closed.
But so, hang on, no. So has Peter Andre and Katie Price.
Danny, you went to America and you properly went in and saw footage of these...
I went and see a geezer called Stan Romanek.
Right.
Who's been abducted since he was a kid. I sound like such a prick talking about this.
No, it's interesting. It's interesting stuff.
Listen, and he's been abducted since he was a kid, and he showed me some mad shit. All right.
What did he show you? Because I saw the documentary.
He showed me an alien poking his head through a window.
You can't argue with that.
Honestly, I don't know what to say.
Can't. What can you say? You
It popped his little nut up over the window. Had a look at him. He screams. He showed me another one. With...
But what was the other one?
The other one was in his kitchen. This one, it's got in. And you see its fingers come around the door frame, right long fingers.
Right.
They could come around, and then it's got a massive nut. This one, it's bigger than the other one.
Right. And then what? Did it say anything? Did it have a message?
No, it didn't say fuck all. Just looked at him. And you know, I'm gonna fuck off home. I think.
Okay. Well, let's have a look and see if UFOs are up there. The number one thing. Yes, UFOs. I once found myself surrounded by these strange, misshapen humanoids. I didn't know what to say, so I just said the first thing that popped into my head. Hello, Norwich. Johnson, what do you think are the other most intriguing unexplained phenomenon?
It's got to be ghosts.
It's got to be ghosts.
Do you believe in ghosts?
100%.
100%. Have you seen a ghost?
I'm going to sound a little bit mental now, though, aren't I?
Don't
panic. Babe, listen, you're sweet.
I do feel better, in fairness, because you've been through it first.
Go on, what happened?
Third date with current boyfriend, and we went to a tapas restaurant on the King's Road in London.
Right.
And we had drinks. Anyway, and I thought, weird, the restaurant's really empty, but yet there's a girl sat right next door to you. And I didn't say anything. After a while, I got my menu and went, it's weird, loads of room, why is she sitting next to you? And he was like, what? And literally, he swears that there was nobody there. I swear there was a girl there wearing a check shirt and a denim jacket.
Alex, this could be a career-ending appearance for you. Over the BBC, they're going, ooh.
You must have pulled some moves when you got back, because I don't get many dates, but I still think if I was on one and the girl saw a dead girl sat next to me, I'll call you, I'm going to move away from the country.
Miles, do you believe in ghosts?
On the basis of some of the facts we've heard tonight, I think they must exist.
I sometimes practice being a ghost.
Tell me more.
So, in the next life, I won't be shit at it. That'd be embarrassing, no? So I do different things to practice. I move stuff, slam doors. Occasionally, I stand at the end of a stranger's bed while they sleep. Practice, get it right, you know, for when the time comes.
Yeah.
Dress up as a small girl, chill out in a tapas restaurant, see what happens.
Danny, I'm not going to ask. I'm not going to ask whether you've seen a ghost. I'm merely.
I have seen one.
I'm not going to ask Danny because I'm just going to show this.
It's basically this long alleyway with a big wall outside and a big fence outside, right? And this was about three bells in the morning. Jumped over, me and my pal, walking along, bit paranoid, and we saw someone walking towards us. And we thought, well, I don't want to bring it on top, turn around and go the other way. We'll just keep walking, you know what I mean? Kept walking, getting closer, nut down, didn't really want to look. As he's got closer, it was a monk. A monk with all the gear on and all that. It was a mad bit, so I didn't really pipe that much, you know what I mean? I thought, yeah, all right, sweet, he looks like a bit of a fat. If we ever on our toes, we'd be able to get away with him. So anyways, walked past this monk, and no word of a lie, I'd say 10 seconds later, we looked round, the was gone. There was an old monastery round there, we later found out, right? Now, I wish now, looking back on it, I'd have had a right pipe at his boat. Because it was obviously a ghost. I wish I'd have studied the a bit more and just took it in more. But I swear to God, it was a old pit. It was quite a life out of me, to be honest with you. It was on me nuts for a long time.
Good, right? Danny, do you still regret not having more of a pipe at his boat?
I do. I swear. Well, listen, right, there's three alternatives, right? Right, it was a monk.
Wandering around in the middle of the night.
Right, just knocking about, right?
Yeah.
It was like a fat geezer dressed as a monk, fit as a fiddle that could jump over a 20-foot wall. Or I was off me fucking nuts.
OK, let's have a look and see if ghosts are up there. Yes, ghosts! I wrote a book about poltergeists, and I'm pleased to say it's literally flying off the shelves. OK, what other unexplained phenomenon are up there? Sean's team.
The Loch Ness Monster. The Loch Ness Monster.
I can tell you facts about the Loch Ness Monster. It was first spotted in 1934.
Yeah, see, I think, you know, I think that's like...
What do you think, Tony?
I've seen it, and...
What I want to know was, what was Nessie doing in the East End?
West Ham.
I went up there, you know. She's fucking off. Look, where's she going?
There's nobody there, Danny.
No, I don't believe in that one. That's one I don't believe in. I believe in everything else, but I'm not having that. I'm not having that Nessie bollocks.
Well, over 1,000 people claim they've seen the Loch Ness Monster.
You can go to Loch Ness any time, and they say, oh, you should have come here yesterday. Nessie was out in Holland and Barrett buying zinc tablets.
Well, Loch Ness has got it's got a Facebook page, so it must have gone to an internet cafe at some point.
That's a photo from 1934. I mean, that's irrefutable, isn't it?
I think it's a synchronised swimmer. That's what it is, it's synchronised swimming.
Well, the Loch Ness Monster is not up there. OK, John Steen, what other unexplained phenomenon, mystery phenomenon, strange and wonderful things do people find fascinating?
Psychics.
Psychics. Have you ever visited a psychic?
8 times.
8 times?
Again, don't let this steer you in any direction as to whether I'm nuts or not.
So what did they tell you?
Oh, lots of different stuff, but I think the most weird one was when I was walking out of Boots, you know, Boots, and... Boots. You know, Boots. So I'm walking out of Boots, and this sort of deranged-looking woman comes towards me. She said, "You must buy a crystal." I went, "Oh, I'm all right."
She didn't have a check shirt on, did she?
She was older. She said, "You must buy a crystal." And I said, "Oh, I'm all right. I don't want a crystal." And she said, "Well, I'll give you the crystal." I said, "Well, all right." And she said, "It's good luck." And she said, "You've got to ditch that boyfriend of yours. He's very handsome, but you've got to get rid of him. He's no good for you. Next boyfriend, look for somebody with a J in the surname." Sure enough, 2 weeks later, new man, J in the surname.
That's what you doing what you're told.
No! See, she searched me out to give me that information. They look after you. John, don't look like that.
It was the she searched me out thing. Afterwards.
There was a lot of people in Boots, and she could have picked anybody, but she was drawn to me and gave me... And these people don't give crystals away willy-nilly.
I recently visited a psychic, and he could tell that I was unsuccessful with women and sometimes got mistaken for being homeless just by looking at me. That's weird.
That is crazy kind of powers. Danny, do you believe in psychics?
I done that Sally Morgan, and I was sort of open to it, and she wanted to meet me at a dog track.
Of course.
Cockney and all that. So I spent about 2 hours with her, and I'll tell you what, the bollocks coming out of her mouth, right? Because she went, "Right, do you know what? I'm going to do something I never do. Right. I'm going to tell you what dog is going to win the next race."
What did she say, greyhound?
What? So, listen. She told me what one it was. I put a tongue down on it, £100, Jimmy, right?
Sure, I'm with you.
The fucking thing come last.
Let's have a look and see if psychics are up there. Yes, psychics. Whenever Most Haunted's on, it does make me wonder, what's on the other side? So at the end of that round, it's 1 point to Sean's team and 2 points for John's team. Our next round is Pick of the Polls. John, Alex, Joe, what do you like the look of?
We'll have Lady Gaga.
OK. Most people would rather wear something practical than look cool. True or false? What do you think?
Well, it's all about looking cool for me. Like under this, I'm wearing quite expensive lingerie. It's impractical, but I feel great.
Gives you the support you need.
No, it doesn't. It's the opposite. It's right up my arse.
But I think it is age dependent. People, you know, maybe, got to be careful here, 40?
I'm 40, yeah.
Downwards, go for, you know, look cool.
Have you seen the two guys you're sitting with? Do you suffer for fashion? Do you wear heels? Do you wear uncomfortable things to look good?
Mm-hmm.
I'll have a heel, if there's heels available.
If there's heels available, you have a heel.
But I also like a flat Converse.
I really want to say I've got a rocket in my pocket in your accent.
Do it.
I got a rocket in my pocket.
Danny, would you rather be practical or look cool?
Try a bit of both. I can't be fucked wearing a suit and all that, do you know what I mean? Can't do a tie.
Can't do a tie?
No, I can't do a tie. That's embarrassing, isn't it?
Oi!
Go on, mate, do him.
Yeah.
Well, this is the fight we've been waiting for.
You're fucking giving it the big one. What's going on over here? What's happening here?
Yeah, mate, you're giving it the big one. He's a dickhead.
There does come a time in a man's life when he goes, yeah, slippers, come on.
No, I've got a pair of slippers. What about that?
What have you gone for? Have you gone for the Ugg slipper?
I've gone for a moccasin. I'm old school.
Moccasin? I hadn't really considered a moccasin.
But don't put the whole moccasin on, just, like, you know, push the back of it down so it's more of a flip-flop.
You're exactly right.
So you can just sort of slip your trotters into them, you know what I mean? Like,
slip your trotters in, yeah.
Have a shuffle about, you know. When you,
Shuffle about,
when
yeah.
you need to kick them off and have a lay down, you ain't got to fuck about with, you know, taking them off. Why the fucking hell am I talking about moccasins?
Miles, would you say you're a slave to fashion?
Yeah, I mean, for instance, what young Danny was just talking about with regards to his slippers, I have a very similar attitude towards my espadrilles in the summer. Always keep the backs down, certainly.
Well, both practical and cool. I mean,
It's
you
not
really...
practical. No, we're all having a laugh, but they come off when you're going downstairs. Fine when you're going upstairs, and then you go off the first step, your bloody slipper slides down the stairs.
Who says I'm planning to go up or downstairs? Maybe I've moved into a bungalow to be safer.
Sean, what do you think? Practical? Do you go practical now?
Now?
Well, I mean, for the show, you tend to, you know, you dress down a little bit, but heels and...
It's a liberty, that is, dressed down. I think you look well. It's a strong top he's got on now.
Yes, yeah. Very strong top.
I mean, you can do the old collars up a bit, I think. You know what I mean? Have a pair of bollocks about you, fucking...
That better.
You look like you're ready for a tear-up now, you know what I mean? Like...
Oh, crikey. My tailor always says it's very important to have a pair of bollocks about you.
Let's get some answers on this. So what do you think? Most people would rather wear something practical than look cool. True or false? What do you think? You think true, you think practical is the way forward. OK, what do you think, John?
False.
We think false.
People like to look cool. OK, well, I can tell you, the answer is true. 73% of people would rather wear something practical than look cool. And the winner is the name of our final round. Here is your question. Top thing people learn from TV shows. Alex, what do you think you've learned on the One Show? Because you have interesting people on every day.
I don't know. Well, you know, things that don't really help you in real life.
Go on. Such as?
Such as seagulls live till they're 40, potentially. Too long.
It's too long for a seagull.
2 types of tidal energy.
Well, in and out.
Yeah, no.
That's right.
So, you know, you do learn a lot, but sometimes when I'm not sure, I make things up.
Do you?
Only very, I mean, few and far between, Jimmy, but I can't, hand on heart, say 100% all the facts are correct.
I want to go on this One Show. Do you think they'll have me on there or what?
Danny, you're welcome.
You should get Danny to do an investigation for you, because you often get people in to do reports. He'd be amazing. He's done reports before.
No, I want to be the main guest. I don't want to get palmed off with a 5-minute thing.
Baby steps, Danny, baby steps. We've got to build up towards that.
I'd rather see them carry on with Giles Brandreth doing it, but you get to direct and write the script. Giles Brandreth having to say, now, I've come here to try on these cardigans, but she's fucking mugging me off.
Miles, have you learnt anything from TV?
Yeah, from television I've learnt the ease with which Postman Pat can be distracted from his round has dire implications for the overall efficiency of the Royal Mail. It's a worrying trend.
Yeah, and he gets involved in other people's problems, doesn't he?
He's nosy. He's nosy.
He thinks he's been helpful, but...
Stop chasing cats. Deliver my fucking letters.
Busy wasn't he?
I think you've really...
Good postman and all that, lovely little cat, but one busy you know?
Oh, cool. Sean, have you learned anything else from television? I mean, other than the recent revelations.
I just can't wait to bump into an animator somewhere and say, what are you working on? He goes, this new show called Busy
Joe, have you learned anything from television?
The only thing I've learned is that people on X Factor who say, I know I've got the X Factor, don't tend to have the X Factor.
OK, top thing people learn from TV shows.
Is it that chefs, for some strange reason, chefs are allowed to swear? You know, you can't swear on gardening shows or property shows. I've never heard Kevin McLeod halfway through Grand Designs go, winter's drawing in, and they still haven't got the fucking roof on. This is when you need to swear. Yeah. That's worth swearing for, not because some broccoli's overcooked. They haven't got a roof. But then Gordon does need to swear. He's obviously got issues. You don't get those lines in your face worrying about roast potatoes, do you?
Well, you got pretty close to it.
Chefs, cooking.
It's the right answer. Yes, the top thing people learn from TV shows are cooking tips. The best thing about my girlfriend's cooking is I know exactly what I'm going to get. Gastroenteritis. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are John, Alex and Joe have 2 points. Sean, Danny and Miles are the winners with 3 points.
Tonight on 8 out of 10 Cats, smiling on the inside, it's Jack D. T41, it's Matt Edmondson. And their team captain, Sean Locke. And facing them tonight, Poker Face, it's Victoria Corin. All hands on deck, it's Rob Beckett. And their team captain, John Richardson. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy
And welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, 1 in 20 couples say they sleep in separate rooms to strengthen their relationship? I guess they also have sex with other people to prove how much they love each other. 10% of people never talk about food at work, and that's because they're too fat to work, and besides, they don't want to talk with their mouth full. And 25% of men never use deodorant, but unfortunately, they do use public transport. Right, let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. It's our panellists' job to guess the British public's top 3 most popular talking points. Sean's team, what do you think the nation will be talking about this week?
Ooh, Oscars?
Yes, the Oscars.
Were you excited by them?
Not particularly, no. To be honest with you, I don't really like award ceremonies. Not because I don't win them, I just... Award ceremonies over the years have encouraged me to read, watch and listen to stuff that I could quite comfortably have avoided. There's loads of films, books, records that I listen to because they won awards and have wasted my time, wasted my life. Avatar, I'd never have gone to see Avatar, but it's won all these awards, I went to see it and... Oh, Christ.
Really? It's like the best Smurf movie ever.
It's just bollocks. It's just
whoa, hang on, are you moving on to Mumford & Son?
Mumford & Son.
People love Mumford & Son.
Yeah, fine if they come round to paint your house. There's loads of them. They put up in their cheeky 1950s van. Yeah. But you don't want to listen to them going, oh, the same bleeding song over and over again.
Why don't you cheer up? What's the matter with you? Daniel Day-Lewis, though, I mean, you can't doubt the guy. What an actor. I mean, he's, you know, he's proper thing, isn't he?
Well, he should have got assassinated. If he's really method, he should have got himself shot.
I don't see why method actors are praised. People say, oh, that's the best way of acting, but because he trained to be a butcher when he was playing a butcher. But that's the opposite of acting. That's just becoming a butcher. I've been doing method for 10 years now. I'm actually quite a bubbly chap. But I can reveal now that I'm playing Jack in his upcoming biopic. Spent the last 10 years getting into role, and I think I'm ready. Do you think?
It's annoying because I auditioned for that.
What's incredible is his speeches, because actors act because they're tedious people. That's why they do it, because from when they were children, they've learnt that by being other people, they make more friends and are more popular.
Have you thought about acting?
I can act right now. I don't need to learn to... I'll do a butcher right now for you. I won't go away and train to be one. What do you want, darling? A little bit of beef? But my favourite bit is when people talk differently to how they've been in any role. But the best one this year was Adele, whose speech really pointed out... It's a nice song, but you expect it to go, thank you for my house girl. Just go, cheers for this, darling. Yeah, I'll do you later, babes.
I felt sorry for Adele, because when she got her award, all the other people getting that awards, like Dustin Hoffman, like Jack Nicholson, amazing people, she got hers off Queen Latifah. Where did you be? You've won an Oscar and Queen Latifah's giving it to you. It's like getting it off Martin McCutcheon.
I've never heard, in all the years I've done this show, anyone have a go at Queen Latifah. That's the first.
She's had it too easy for too long.
Yes, yes. It's time someone turned on her.
Victoria, did you watch any Oscars? Did you stay up?
I did. I watched the whole Oscars. I stayed up till 5 a.m. I thought it was pretty ropey this year. Although Shirley Bassey sang Goldfinger. That made me happy. I'm slightly obsessed with the lyrics of Goldfinger. I think about it quite a lot. It troubles
go
me.
on. So Goldfinger...
OK, well, have you got 5 minutes?
Yeah, sure, for this.
It's only a 3-minute song.
Well, yeah, but it's... It's mostly the line, such a cold finger. What? Why would he have a cold finger? I mean, first of all, his finger isn't gold. His name is Goldfinger. And if he did have a gold finger, metal is actually an excellent conductor of heat, so it could be much hotter than an ordinary finger, so it wouldn't be such a cold finger. But then later, she says he has a spider's touch. Now, if he did have a metal finger, that would be quite a leaden, heavy touch. It wouldn't be...
I mean, to be fair, this is a film about a man who touches stuff and it turns to gold. I would have bigger bugbears with that.
No, it isn't. That's King Midas. That's King Midas. Who are you? You think there's a Bond movie where someone's magic? That's King Midas. You've got to watch that film again. Right, let's have a look and see if the Oscars are up there. Yes, of course. Yes, the Oscars were held on Sunday. Daniel Day-Lewis was the big winner. With his Oscars for My Left Foot, There Will Be Blood, and now Lincoln, he's won more Oscars for unwatchable, tedious films than anyone in history. Johnstein, what else has the nation been talking about this week?
The Pope.
The Pope?
The Pope. The Pope. The Pope. That's the Italian for it. The Pope. Oh no, bye-bye, the Pope. It was the Pope's last day, wasn't it? But what I don't understand, he's quit just before Easter. Just like... It's like a manager resigning before a cup final. That's surely like the biggest gig of the year, and he's chucking chocolate at people, and then he's quit. Oh, he had to give back his ring. Had to give back his...
They have to destroy the ring, apparently. He has to give back his
No,
slippers, but they have to just... They literally have to destroy the papal ring. They have to get a hobbit in a volcano or some sort.
The thing is, if he's got to go out for a leaving drink, isn't he? Like, if one goes out for a leaving drink at work, he's going to have to get around in for every Catholic. No wonder they die on the cross, whatever it is. Not die on the cross, that's Jesus. Jesus, isn't it?
They die on the job, yeah, you get... Yeah, it's the other fella.
Yeah, that's it. The big guy, the chief exec.
He's meant to die on the job, and he's basically... You know, he's not fulfilled his purpose. He was meant to do his job until he died, and then there's a new pope.
He's supposed to die on the job. The job is to die. I mean, I wouldn't want to do it. I'm sympathetic to him.
I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure they're going to... You're not in with that much of a shout.
If you're the pope and you die, you are guaranteed straight to heaven. You're like being fired out of a cannon. As soon as you die, so boom, you're like in heaven on a cloud. Whatever you want going on is going on. Whatever you want nibbling is being nibbled.
He's got the better deal, though, hasn't he? Because as retirement, he goes into a castle in Italy with something like... Is it like 40 nuns or something? There's a little loophole where if you quit as Pope, you just get given a lot of nuns. Do what you like for a weekend, no questions asked. He's got a cinema in there, there's a swimming pool, and you can nun yourself to death.
I wonder, you know, because he retired, do you think it's like in an office, you have to take... You get a box and put your things in it, you have to clear your desk and go? Because the other thing was, I thought this was very telling. This is very indicative of how camp the Catholic Church is, that he had to give his shoes back, the little red shoes he wears. And you know that the conversation was, you give the shoes back. Which shoes? You know which shoes.
It makes it sound like being Pope's a bit like going bowling.
Yeah. It is, isn't it?
It's an aerosol. him his old shoes back.
Yeah. Should we have a look and see whether the Pope is up there? I'm sure he is. Yes, the Pope's retired. Of course, the Pope was famously against using condoms. He said he couldn't feel anything. Fingers on buzzers, one more thing to get. What do you think?
I'm hoping it isn't the Lib Dem, possibly dodgy, groping lord. Only because I have a theory that the newspapers are massively more interested in him and that than anyone else at all. So I kind of hope that's not on the list.
Lord Reynard is his name, and no one really seems to... I mean, no one's heard of him before.
His name is actually Baron Reynard, which sounds
Baron
fantastically dashing and sexy. It's very disappointing when you see the picture of him.
Yeah, he's a bit of a unit, isn't he?
Even by political standards, intimidatingly unattractive.
Let's have a little look.
He looks like he's never seen a frying pan before. Can't believe the new invention of the frying pan.
I like that's a parliamentary pancake race, it says on the front. That's what they're doing with their time. Not fixing the economy, pancake races.
You realise, by the way, that when I say these horrible things about what he looks like, that's assuming he did grope the people. If he didn't, what a lovely-looking man.
Of course, I should make clear that Lord Reynard has denied these allegations.
And it's always sex pest as well, isn't it? Whatever happened to a bit of a perv? Do you know what I mean? Everyone's got a dodgy uncle. It's like, oh, don't worry about him, he's just a bit of a perv.
Who decided that grope is definitely bad, fondle's good, isn't it?
No, fondle is definitely bad when it's a complete stranger.
So what can you do to them?
Fondle is fine.
I don't know what a grope is.
Well,
Victoria.
you've led a sheltered life.
I feel like a grope has to be sort of fluid. Do you know what I mean?
That's a caress.
Like if you grab...
No, if it's fluid, you've gone too far. Lord Reynard is not one of the most talked about things this week, but ex-Lib Dem peer Lord Reynard has been accused of groping party members. Lord Reynard was the Lib Dems' fixer. He always had his finger on the pulse, leading many to say, "No, Lord Reynard, that's not my pulse." Or that, and you certainly won't find it there. OK, fingers on buzzers. One more thing still to get.
Stop. I'll give you a clue.
Horse meat again, yeah. We're still talking about horse meat. It's just bloody horse meat and everything. I'm sick and bloody tired of hearing about it. Who gives a shit anyway?
Yeah.
You know, what does anyone expect? You know, I've always known it's horse meat. You know, you buy cheap burgers, you put them on the grill, they don't even sizzle. They just go... You know, people think that they can spend, you know, £1.20 and I got 150 burgers, and then they're for it in a box, and it's absolutely disgraceful because some of it's horse meat. What the hell did you expect? You're lucky it's horse, frankly. You are lucky it's horse. You know, you go for a kebab, right? Everyone knows, subconsciously, we all know that that's not very nice, what you're eating. So that's why you have to have at least 5 or 6 pints before you summon up the courage to have a kebab. Because you know, basically, it's hospital waste on a stick. I've seen them going around. I've seen one that had a plimsoll on it. It's going around.
You expect kebabs to be made out of missing townsfolk?
It is. Everything's got bloody horse meat. You know, One Direction, they're 28% horse meat. Harry Styles, they give him sugar lumps when he's done a good show.
This is my favourite quote of the week. Was Iceland's chief executive, Malcolm Walker, insisted that supermarkets should not be expected to test for horse in any of their products any more than they should have to test for hedgehogs. Mm. It just makes you go, why'd you mention hedgehogs?
People were worried that there was a panicky story that maybe the Queen's eaten some horse. The Queen. This is a woman who's eaten the throat out of a badger. She wouldn't care. Really, anything.
She apparently she was served what could have been partly horse meat at Ascot, wasn't she? So or at least she knew it was fresh. Right.
Would you eat a horse?
No, I wouldn't. I was a vegetarian for many years, which is why I've not developed into a full-grown adult. I
was going to ask about that. I'm so glad you've mentioned it.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't eat horse. I'm quite funny with meat now.
So what won't you eat? What's your...
I've not gone for pork yet, because pork to me feels too similar when you eat it to how it looks when it's in the farm. It's like bacon, for example, it's like someone taking a potato peeler to the back of a pig and then gone, just eat that.
Oh, you're making me hungry just saying that.
Really?
That sounds delicious. I like the crackling when it's still got some hair on it.
Oh, really? Oh, no. No.
Yeah, but you mean that as a euphemism, you dirty sod.
I'll eat anything. I think we should farm elephants. They're massive. They're covered in meat. I'd have big elephant farms. And I'm not talking about locally sourced, small, you know, independent producers. I'm talking about massive factory farms with tens of thousands of elephants in there, chained up, bred entirely for the meat. You could smell them in Inverness. It stinks. There are about 60 square miles just of elephants chained up.
Tell you what I've just thought. Their trunk. Imagine the calamari.
Yeah.
You could get...
Once I get elected, we're going to have elephant farms.
Well, shall we have a look and see whether horse meat is one of the most talked about things this week? The most talked about thing. Yes, the horse meat scandal continues. IKEA have stopped selling meatballs after finding they contained horse meat. It's terrible. If you can't trust cheap meat products sold as an afterthought in a Swedish furniture shop, what can you trust? So those were the most talked about things this week. But in other news, a woman in Las Vegas has been caught having sex with a dog in her front yard. Oh, God, get a kennel. It's her own fault. She'd been leading him on for years. Police found the dog burying his bone in her back garden. So at the end of that round, it's 1 point to John and 2 points to Sean. So our next round is pick of the polls. Sean, Jack, Matt, what do you like the look of?
The big ship.
Ah, the Titanic.
That is the Titanic. This week, an Australian tycoon unveiled plans for Titanic 2, a replica of the Titanic. So we asked our studio audience, would you travel on Titanic 2, yes or no?
Definitely not.
It's going to take the same route as the original Titanic, and it's an exact replica.
I very much hope it sinks in that case. Because, sorry, people getting off on the idea of being on the Titanic and going on the same route, which killed what, 1,300 people or something. I think that's sick. What are you going to do next? You're going to go on a Lockerbie flight, you know?
I mean, you're right about the taste. You wouldn't go on the Costa Concordia, would you? You wouldn't go on a recreation of that. It was only a few months ago. It's like, oh, but because it was decades ago, it's all right. It's not. It's a bit poignant.
Yeah, it's a bit grisly.
If they did do it, I'd like to stand in the harbour at New York in a top hat going, where you been? I've got a beard about a mile long, going into the harbour.
So you wouldn't go on this?
I wouldn't go on a cruise in the modern-day era, let alone back when the Titanic was happening, because it's rubbish. It's like checking yourself onto a floating prison. You can't really do anything, can you, on a cruise? Has anyone been on a cruise?
Yeah, on Hampstead Heath, yeah.
Very different vibe.
I don't like boats. I get bored of waving. You have to wave all the time, don't you? Why do you have to wave on a boat? It's ridiculous. You don't do it on a train. Yeah. I'm on a train. I'm on a boat. Get over it. I do that on the tube every day. Hello, hello, hello. It takes forever. Sick of it. On a boat. Whoa! Chill out.
Would you go on this?
When are you going to get a better chance to do practical jokes? Like, how many laughs do you reckon you'd get? I would be up every morning just go, iceberg, dead ahead!
Or you just stand by the lifeboats, just never leave them, just lean on them all the time. Yeah. Anyone comes near me, fuck off.
I wouldn't go on Titanic 3. Like, if that one goes down as well, and they go, we're going to do a third one, that's when I go, look, you need to stop doing Titanic. This one's going to be safer than any boat because they're going to be so aware. Like, I'd rather get on a plane the day after a plane crash because I think they're not going to be two, are they? But if there hasn't been one for ages and I get on a plane, I think, God, we're due here.
Are you aware of 9/11?
Are you aware of 10/11? No, nothing happened.
Very good. So, would you travel on the Titanic 2, yes or no? What do you think our audience said?
No.
No.
No, they would.
Of course they said yes. Of course they said yes.
Of course they said yes, you dick.
They said yes.
Yes,
Dick
no,
about it,
I
Jimmy.
can tell you the answer is yes. 74% of our studio audience said they would travel on Titanic too. And the winner is the name of our final round. Here's your question. Best way to make friends?
Ow.
Obviously not like that. Is it hang around after night prayers?
Night prayers, that comes just before let's strip down to our pants prayers.
That comes just before the in the name of the Father, the Son, and in the Holy Ghost.
OK, best way to make friends?
You tell a woman that you love her, and she says, I think we're friends. It's better when you could just ask when you're a kid, and you just go up to someone and say, you want to be friends? If you do that now, it looks weird. You're making mates with someone in the office. There's no point in which you have to go, can I just clarify, are we friends? We can't be best friends, because I made best friends with Sue last week.
A better way that isn't weird is to throw someone's dog in a pond and pretend you rescued it.
Did they see you throw the dog in the pond? Because I don't think it's going to work that way around.
No, they just see you climbing out with the dog. They don't know you threw it in. You become friends, and it's not weird.
It's going to be weird for them watching this, isn't it?
Can't dogs swim? Am I having another...
No, before she did it, she broke its legs. So it couldn't swim.
Is it that you steal their things and then pretend you found them in a hedge?
Stop ruining other people's lives. 48% of people meet their true friends at work. Is that true for you? Have you met friends at work? You're a professional gambler most of the time. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's... But I'm terrible at making friends. That's why I play poker, because you sit with a bunch of people and you play a game and drink and chat, and they are friends, but it's just friends where, at the end of the evening, you go, I think you owe me £100.
That sounds like prostitution.
Well, that's simply the way I make friends. Deal with it.
Rob, well, what do you think?
I think you don't need many friends. I mean, I've got about 6, and like, that's one that I could do with cutting a few off.
According to a recent survey, the average British person has 3 true friends and another 19 mates.
But I call everyone mate, and I don't mean it.
Well, what do you think, mate?
Well, it's weird when your job is to interview pop stars, because you have that false friendship thing. They come onto your radio show or whatever it is, and I've had it in the past where you think, I'm probably not going to get on with this person, and they come in and you become really good friends.
What odd people have you become friends with?
There is a grime artist called Skepta.
Oh, Skepta, yeah.
You know Skepta?
Skepta, boom.
Yeah.
Cowabunga, dude.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me anything about Skepta.
He and I have kind of become friends just through being interviewed a few times. I did an interview where I mounted him in a piggyback from behind, and he had to hold my weights whilst we had a little chat. And since then, we've been nearly inseparable.
I'll just let you know about the thing about Skepta is he doesn't let his real friends do that to him.
Crush my dream,
We don't do that.
It's weird that you weren't at Skepto's birthday party last night, though.
Skepta, but yeah.
Skepta?
What do you call him?
Skepta.
You call him Skepta? If you're a mate, we call him Skepta.
Oh, Skepto.
Skepto. Skeptos.
Are you going round his later?
What, Skeppies?
Yeah. Couple of pints.
Skepsies.
Skeppo.
Yeah. And we go down there, we're just going to hit a bin with a brick for a bit. It'll be great.
OK, best way to make friends?
Just do it on Facebook, and once you've clicked it, it's official.
I'll give you a clue. It's to do with listening.
Asking questions. Go to the pub.
Listening to someone moaning on.
That'll do, yeah. Can you do that? Listening is close enough. Yes, the best way to make friends is to listen to people's problems. Of course, some people like me have the opposite problem, too many friends. It's like every makeup girl we've ever had on this show has had to leave because I'm too friendly. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are John, Victoria and Rob have 2 points, Sean, Jack and Matt have 3 points. They've won.
Tonight on 8 out of 10 Cats, Mamma Mia, it's Nancy Dell'Olio. Him and Hair, it's Joe Wilkinson. And their team captain, John Richardson. And facing them tonight, Golden Wonder, it's Greg Rutherford. The Emerald Smile, it's Jim Owen. And their team captain, Sean Locke. Now, welcome your hosts, Jimmy
Welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, for every human in the world there are 1 million ants, but surprisingly, only one deck? 30% of men buy their partners red roses on their anniversary. I bought my girlfriend some red roses, some red lingerie, and we had some red wine. And then we went up to the bedroom and read. And 5% of women think their eyebrows are their best feature. Ladies, I don't know much about eyebrows, but I do know they shouldn't be poking out the sides of your pants. Right, let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. Tonight, it's our panellists' job to guess what the British public think of the top 3 sporting moments of the last year. John's team.
Well, I guess we have someone with us who was at probably the most famous sporting event and probably the most famous sporting day of last year.
Did you get tickets?
It's the Olympics and the legacy and all that. But London's Twitter account still has 1.5 million followers. I just think tidy your account up. They haven't tweeted for a year. It's time to stop now. But the Olympics was fantastic and you've done very well.
But for you, it's been spoiled by their inability to tidy up their digital messaging.
It was a fantastic event. I think Britain did a fantastic job. Not only the team, I mean, all the people behind. I mean, I think everything was absolutely perfect. So, well done, Britain.
Well, well done us.
Yes.
Well done, Britain. How far did you actually jump in the final?
8 metres 31.
I genuinely don't know how far that is. If you paced out, how far would it be across?
Well, if you do 8 long paces, then like a foot.
8 long paces?
Yeah.
All right.
You've got to do it right, though, so it's
hang on, 8 long paces. All right, so 1,
yeah,
2, 3, 4, 5. Fuck off. No way did you... You need 8.
Well, you're probably being a bit generous.
Oh, we've got a tape measure. Throw us a tape measure. Hang on, so I'll hold this.
It's not long enough.
8 metres.
Exactly.
All right, well, we'll do 8 metres and then we'll see. OK, so I'll hold that.
I've got something that's half a metre long. It's not me, no. I carry around a ruler with me.
OK, so that's 8 metres, and then you went a bit further.
Like, so, yeah, about here, where I'm standing.
That is mental. Okay, I'm gonna have a dart. Well, you had a running start, yeah?
Yeah, you can do it standing if you want.
All right, I'm going to do a standing start.
Give it.
Oh,
So, that's at least a start. I mean,
also, I haven't done any training. You've been at this for 8 years, so...
That's true, that is
I reckon with the right funding.
That
is pretty impressive, though, isn't it?
Thank you.
That's pretty impressive. Come on, let's one more. Gold medal. Was it amazing being part of Super Saturday?
Yes, it was pretty special. I mean, it goes down as Mo, Jess, and that random ginger guy who turned up as well on the day.
But your life will be different after tonight.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I don't know what Nancy's got planned for you. Sounds like the ginger kid's getting laid.
It was amazing meeting you, Greg. You know, but it does sort of remind me how shit my year was last year. Like, you won a gold medal and I had my bird table stolen. Completely different years.
Is that on Super Saturday?
Actually, I did have a good Saturday that Saturday because I had spaghetti bolognese for a tea, so... I'm with you, buddy.
Both winners.
Like, the way Mo did you think of doing anything? Like...
I did kind of consider it, because obviously the Mobot is massive, but then
I hate it, I think it's rubbish.
I'd be ripping it off and then people hate me.
I know he's a really nice guy, everyone really likes him, but it's shit, isn't it?
It is. You know the M from YMCA, why didn't he just do the M from...
It was the M.
But that's not the M.
Yeah, that is the M from YMCA. What did you thought the M was that?
Yeah, but he's from down under, isn't he?
Yeah. OK, let's have a look and see if the Olympics are up there. Of course, the number one thing, the Olympics. Jess Ennis was at the peak of physical fitness in the heptathlon. Watching her, I couldn't help feeling ashamed of myself because I could see what I was doing reflected in the telly. Sean's team. What do you think the nation enjoyed over the last year in the sporting world?
Well, I would say Andy Murray would be one, wouldn't it? Winning the US Open, the first title he's won, and he won an Olympic medal, didn't he?
He's bloody good. Are you a big fan of Andy Murray?
Yeah, I think he's done a good job for tennis and everything else. Relatively nice guy, so...
Relatively nice guy, wow. All right, get a room, Jesus. He's a relatively nice guy. He's done a good job for tennis.
Well, his problem is that to eradicate his personality, because when he started, like, you can see on court, he's clearly got a lot of passion and things, but when he started, he would mess about in interviews and do jokes, and he's got loads of abuse for it. So now he just deliberately tries to be as tedious as he can. His interviews now, after, like, the most incredible tennis game, go, yeah, it was quite awkward because I hit the ball, but he moved when I'd hit it. So I had to hit the ball to the other side, but he moved again, so I kept... Then I tried to go down the middle, but he was there as well. It was absolutely...
He lost 2 toenails, but they didn't say which 2 it was, because it's only your big toe and your little toe that have names.
This is 100% true. Andy Murray, during the final with the US Open, he lost 2 toenails, turned black and fell off during the game. But, sorry, so we don't know which 2 because they've...
Because only your big toe and your little toe have names. And big toe's the only toe that actually does anything. All the rest of the toes are just hanging around with him. Like if you move your toes up and down.
OK, all right, yeah, I'm doing it.
I know, everybody's doing it.
I'm doing my big toe now.
But the big toe's the only one that actually goes up and down. All the rest of them are just going, what's going on? My little toe's in a real bad way. It's rolled right over.
But you don't get this on the commentary, do you? You never get a commentator going, and I imagine Andy Murray's toes are going black.
Do you play tennis at all, Joe?
No.
No.
I'm a bit annoyed, though, because my application to be a ball boy got turned down again. I don't know why I bother.
That wasn't by Wimbledon authorities, it was actually by the local police.
Yeah.
You could just pick the balls up and just press them against your beard. Carry them in your beard. It'll look a lot better.
See, I could do it.
Do you watch tennis? You a fan of Andy Murray?
Yes. No, I'm a fan of Roger Federer. I do like Andy Murray, but I have a crush on Roger.
You've got a crush on Roger Federer?
Yes.
Well, if you would like, someone that looks a little bit like his special needs younger brother...
Well, that's what I said.
Look no further, my friend.
You look like Federer if he stood in front of that ball cannon. Just went...
What are you saying?
You look puffed up.
Anna, you come second. Well...
not often.
You do.
You just said.
Well, I can tell you, Andy Murray is not in our top 3, but I don't mean to take anything away from Andy Murray, but let's put this into perspective. Andy Murray has won 1 Grand Slam, which means he's won just 1 more Grand Slam than me. John's team, what else has the nation loved over the last year of sport?
I'm thinking football. The league, who won the way, Manchester City.
The last day of the season.
And
Phenomenal.
the way they won, not only the last day, the last 5 minutes. So that was a extraordinary victory. Do you like football, Jimmy?
I feel like we're speed dating now.
You don't like football?
I don't really like football.
You must have liked that, though. You must have. You cannot watch that and not get excited.
Exactly.
I burnt my house down. I'm not even a City fan. I just couldn't. I was so excited. Before I knew it, I was lighting a torch and just...
Shall we have a look at that wonderful moment? Let's have a little look at that wonderful moment.
It's finished at Sunderland. Manchester United have done all they can. That Rooney goal was enough for the 3 points. Manchester City are still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero! I swear you'll never see anything like this ever again. So watch it, drink it in. They've just heard the news at the Stadium of Light. 2 goals in added time for Manchester City.
Nothing.
Nothing. I mean, well, a bit. I mean, it looked pretty good.
it made it sweet because they beat Man U, didn't they, the last day? And I understand their rivalry, you know, between the two teams, because I have a very similar rivalry with the girl band Little Mix. Because they're worried I'm going to take their title as a new pop sensation. And, you know, sometimes it kicks off. We had a fight in the pub car park recently. 4-on-1's not fair, they battered me, but...
Do you like football? You were happy about Manchester City winning?
Eh? Yes. So I'm not used to a woman talking to me. I heard stuff, but it didn't go in, sorry.
Oh, OK.
It's hot in here.
Well, I can tell you, Man City's title win is not up there, but Manchester City won their first Premier League title in 44 years. Well, that's not strictly true. For 43 years straight, they won shittest club in Manchester. Sean's team.
Is it the Bradley Wiggins?
Oh.
Bradley Wiggins from Yorkshire. He won the Tour de France.
Yeah,
He does sound. He lives in Yorkshire, and he sounds like a real Yorkshire name, doesn't it? Bradley Wiggins.
My favourite Yorkshire expression is tin, 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 which means it isn't in the tin.
Tin, tin, tin.
Tin, tin, tin. No. Tin, tin, tin.
It's not really a saying, something you might use as a proverb, isn't it? Like, you know, oh, grandma's fallen downstairs again. Ah, well, tin, tin, tin.
I like the way you've added a dance. This has got even better. Tin, tin, tin.
If you had Tintin DVDs and they were in the tin, then you could say, where have you put DVDs? In tin, tin, tin. Then you went to find it and it wasn't there, and you went, I went to tin, 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 but it didn't tin, tin, tin.
Tin, tin, tin.
Can't get any good enough.
Do we need to talk about Bradley Wiggins anymore? I mean, I think we've covered it.
He won the Tour de France.
Incredible.
It's an incredible achievement.
Amazing. It's a Herculean task. The race it's got 20 stages. It's a total of 3,497 kilometres. And he did that in 87 hours and 34 minutes, which is like way better than my personal best.
If they just made it a bit more interesting, like just close peg a playing card to the back wheel, so at least you can hear when they're going faster.
Or with stabilisers on.
Or he does the whole tour with E.T. in a basket.
Did you watch it?
I did, yeah. Actually, that was by far, in my opinion, the biggest sport moment of the year.
And he got Olympic goals as well. I mean,
yeah,
he's got
exactly.
to add...
But the thing is, he did that like 10 days after winning the Tour. Can you imagine sort of doing that and then going off and then doing it again in like 10 days' time?
I can't imagine the first one, never mind. The 10 days off is the only bit of that I can relate to.
Exactly.
Didn't he get run over as well, though, didn't he, after he won? Was it him?
Yeah, he was in a petrol station and someone ploughed into him.
The only thing I remember is the quote, because the woman who knocked him over said, of all the people to hit. So she was going to go, why couldn't it have been a kid?
Nancy, what did you make of Bradley Wiggins? Are you aware of Bradley Wiggins' work?
Absolutely. I mean, it is one of the greatest, another greatest moment for Britain's sport.
Do you think he deserved the Sports Personality of the Year?
Absolutely, yes. I think he was the only one who only won the Tour de France and everything, and then he won the Olympics, so absolutely, yes. He looks quite very cool. I mean, that's the other thing. It's not only sports personality, it's the way he looks. It's quite cool.
Do you like facial hair? Because I've probably got twice as much as him.
Well, that's why I do like you.
Eh? Don't know what's happening.
OK, let's see if Bradley Wiggins is up there. Yes! The 3-week Tour de France is one of the world's most gruelling sporting events to watch. OK, fingers on buzzers, one more thing to get.
Must be the Paralympics.
Mm-hmm.
Which was a triumph of everyone. Because everyone said, well, the Olympics will be shit. And then the Olympics was amazing. They said, well, that'll be it now then. And then the Paralympics was amazing as well. Everyone carried on loving sport. It was a phenomenal thing for Britain, wasn't it?
Absolutely phenomenal.
Did you watch a lot of it?
I watched a fair bit, yeah. I liked... well, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
My standout moment was Jodie Condé losing his shit. I did enjoy watching a man just absolutely do what everyone else would want
I
to do
think for
in
me as
sport.
well, I think it's the best moment. Have a look at Jodie Cundy.
Well, there's an awful lot of booing. It's booed out the announcer, but he's just said there is no restart. His race is run, and it's over. Alfonso Cabello of Spain with a world record wins the gold. John Allen Butterworth of Great Britain is second.
Come on. I'd probably do the same. If that is honestly the biggest moment of your life and you have given up everything for it for a few years and then somebody tells you no. And it actually wasn't his fault. Something went wrong with what was gripping his back wheel and it didn't release him.
And his name sounds a bit like something you'd hear in a clinic. Can you see me next? I've got a bit of a Jodie Cundy.
I did like the people in the wheelchairs.
The werewolf was, I mean, he was incredible. He's a monster with that thing. He got 4 golds, the T54 800, 1500 and 5000 and marathon.
Sounds greedy.
Battersea Dog's Home named a dog after him, didn't he?
I had one named after me as well, actually.
A dog?
I did, yeah. I tried to get it for me because I wanted another dog, and then they gave it to somebody else.
Wouldn't it confuse you to have a dog with the same name as you?
I'd probably...
If you were in the park shouting your own name, you'd look a bit of a dickhead.
Do you know what I call my dog? Attack. I go, attack! Attack! What, attack? Attack! Really disconcerts everyone in the park.
Let's have a look and see if the Paralympics is up there. Yes, of course, the Paralympics. Oscar Pistorius won Paralympic fame for running and has gone on to worldwide fame in shooting and cricket. So at the end of that round, it's 1 point to Sean and 2 points to John. And the winner is the name of our final round. Here is your question. Best way to relax after a hard day's work?
2 weeks off.
Best way to relax after a hard day's work is 2 weeks off. What do you think? Oh, go on.
I like to relax by recreating the scene from Ghost with a potter's wheel.
Where you're...
well, because I do it with my flatmate Mark because he looks a bit like Whoopi Goldberg.
It's extraordinary. OK, so, Nancy, how do you relax of an evening after a hard day's work?
Well, I will have a hot bath with a drink and then have a very deep tissue massage.
Jesus.
I
think I prefer yours.
Well, definitely, you prefer mine.
Who's the masseuse? Who's...
Well, I don't have to tell on TV, but I have a few.
Oh, that kind of massage, I see.
No.
What sort of tissues do you use?
Deep tissues.
Deep tissues.
Deep tissues.
Deep tissues. Is your bath one of the ones that you get in the side and it fills up when you're in there?
I had a bath the other day where I had, with the technology, I have my iPad on the toilet with the lid down, obviously I'm not an idiot. And you put a film on your iPad, and I had cheese and biscuits and a glass of wine, and it was one of the happiest moments of my life. Then I finished the cheese and biscuits, and I thought, I'll just watch this downstairs on telly.
I like to go down to the sauna and apologise for my conduct of the previous evening. You shouldn't really come here when I'm drunk and force you to open up. I'm sorry about that last night.
Well, apology accepted.
Yes.
Greg, how do you relax after training?
If it's been like a jump session or something, then I have to sort of get the sand out of bits of my body, which is...
Deep tissue.
Deep tissue.
How are you normally doing the jump? Have you thought of wearing shorts?
You'd have thought they'd have invented a better substance now, like a really thick custard or something. So you sort of slide into it and it leaves a groove, but you can just wash the custard off afterwards.
I mean, it's sandblast. They do the sandblast things that they have instead of getting a bath. Just get one of those high-powered hoses.
They burn paint off walls.
Right.
OK, so best way to relax after a hard day's work?
I like to hang around by bottle banks. Or I dress up as a knight.
Sorry, you dress up?
Dress up as a knight, full armour, then put a film on.
A night in.
Because that's what they would have done. I do the 165 times tables.
Just run me through the first 4 or 5 of those.
Well, times 165 is 165.
Yeah?
2 times 165 is 320. 3 times...
Start again, Sean. Start again. 1 times. We'll start again.
1 times 165 is 165. 2 times 165 is 330. 3 times 165 is 495. Is it have a drink? Is it have a drink?
It's not have a drink. Have a drink is number 5 on the list.
Watch a bit of telly.
The right answer.
Yeah.
Watch TV. Yes, the best way to relax after a hard day at work is watch TV. I always like to sit in front of the telly and veg out, and by that I mean I don't wear any trousers. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are Sean, Jamone and Greg have 1 point. John, Nancy and Joe are the winners with 3 points.
Tonight on 8 out of 10 Cats, Saved by the Mel, it's Mel Gebroy. Great Scott, it's Susan Kalman. And their team captain, John Richardson. And facing them tonight, on the loose, it's Carol Vorderman. Sealed with a Chris, it's Chris Ramsey. And their team captain, John Locke. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy
Welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show all about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, 5% of UK adults take a teddy bear on holiday? It's ridiculous. Everyone knows the best way to smuggle cocaine is up a dog's bum. 8% of parents admit to having a favourite child. My parents always made it clear I wasn't their favourite, which is tough on an only child. And 10% of people have had sex in their office. I used to go out with a girl who worked for the council. She once let me have sex in the waste management department. It was my birthday. Right, let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. Tonight, it's our panelist's job to guess the nation's top 3 favourite TV shows. John's team.
Well...
Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh,
yes.
hang on.
Great British Bake Off. Truly one of the greatest television programmes.
I can't tell you how apoplectic with joy I am to be this close to Mel, because I watch it, don't get frightened.
No, I love it.
In my pants.
Shall I piss off?
Angel time.
Ease yourself back, John.
There's something delightful about watching people sweating over making a cake while you're eating Angel Delight in your pants. There's just something really...
See, here's the thing, I really like the show, but I think cake is for people who don't drink to feel like they've had fun in their life.
What are you saying?
People who drink, when they go, I was a bit naughty this weekend, you go, what happened? Well, I ended up puking, I shit myself on my doorstep. People who don't drink, they go, I was a bit naughty this weekend, you go, well, what did you do? They went, well, I had chocolate fudge cake.
I watch it, I like it.
Do you, Sean?
I do like it. Well, I like it. It's like Midsummer Murders, but no one gets killed.
Yeah.
Gentle, warm, summery feeling, but there's no, unnecessary killing of anyone.
Have you thought of introducing maybe a murder mystery element to the show?
That would be very,
If you don't win, you get killed.
Yeah. I can see Beza committing some murders.
So you like
Beza?
I probably shouldn't have said that. Mary Berry. She's lovely.
I'd like to see her lose her shit once in a while. Do you know what I mean? You'd like to see Mary Berry go a bit Gordon Ramsay on one of them. Just shove your macaroons up your fucking arse.
She's actually a lot younger than she's not younger than she looks, but her face has aged from opening the oven all the time. She's dried out all her skin.
She hasn't got dry skin.
She's about 30. Yeah. Years of opening ovens. There we go.
It does have a great male sex symbol.
Who's the male sex symbol?
Paul Hollywood.
Carol, do you fancy him?
Well, he came on Loose Women and I nibbled on his brioche.
Did you?
Well, no wonder he came.
You.
Can we have a look at this Hollywood character? Here he is.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The most fun thing I've ever done in all of my life, seriously, was to steal Paul Hollywood's car and drive it half a mile away so that he thought that it was stolen.
You didn't?
Yeah.
He's got a posh car, hasn't he?
He's got... His car is so posh, you don't actually put a key in, you put a crystal into a thing.
Where's a Superman's car?
It's a rock of crystal. Well, actually, it's not a rock, it's just a rectangle of crystal.
Should be a wooden spoon, really, shouldn't it?
You put the crystal in, and then, this is absolutely true, in Hollywood's car, the Bond theme tune kicks in as soon as it starts.
You can't have the Bond music banging out and step out of your car and people go, what do you do? I eat muffins.
It can get really emotional and tense.
Yeah.
In the programme. It can get, it's like Dallas or something. It's really tense.
People's lives are invested in
the
their
baking.
sponge.
Yeah.
Me and Sue and I should say, grammatically correct.
Yeah, thank you.
We, with them, invest our very selves into the Battenberg/quiche.
Oh, the Union
whatever.
Jack Battenberg.
That was amazing.
Phenomenal.
I would never expect John Richardson to just go, oh, the Union Jack Battenberg.
No.
It doesn't seem that right-wing, does it?
Coming over here with your syllabub and your bloody pistachio ice cream coffee nonsense. I like a Battenberg cake shaped like a flag. Now, piss off.
Well, I can tell you, the Great British Bake Off didn't make the top 3. It was actually 5th. Great British Bake Off features more yeast than any other show on British television, except Embarrassing Bodies does Kavos. Sean, what do you think of the nation's favourite TV shows?
It's the David Attenborough's shows.
They're incredible programmes, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yes, they're very good. He's run out, really, though. He'll end up just now looking under dustbins at woodlice. He's done everything else.
Let's have a look at Attenborough's latest series, Africa.
Africa. The world's greatest wilderness. The only place on Earth to see the full majesty of nature. Rarely seen places and untold stories. There's nowhere in the world where wildlife puts on a greater show. This is the last place on Earth where you can come eye to eye with the greatest animals that walk our planet. This is Africa.
The most famous scene of that, it was the giraffes fighting. Did we all see the giraffes?
Necking.
Yeah, in my head, that's how supermodels fight.
Did you see the one with the birds? I think they were called shoebill birds.
Oh, God, it was awful.
That was and the mum. It was like Sophie's choice.
What happened?
She had to.
Oh.
The mum had to choose. I'm actually.
Go on.
I'm welling up.
Go on. Go on.
I'm actually welling up. The shoebill mum had to.
She was horrible. What did she have to choose?
She had to
John,
choose.
comforter, for God's sake!
She had to choose between her 2 chicks. Which one to save?
Which one did... Which one did she save? No?
She chose the stronger one. She didn't even choose the weaker one.
She's a good mum. That's what they would do, a good mum. Bad mum would go on, I'll have the weak one.
She knew that the race of shoebill would continue if she went for the stronger one, rather.
And also, she has no feelings. She's got a tiny brain. She's got a tiny brain and no feelings. So it doesn't matter, does it?
The look in her eye, she knew what she was doing.
No, she didn't. Her brain's probably about that big.
No. Her eye, the weird thing about them is their eyelids, I seem to remember, flick round to the side, and she came into the camera and the eye went brrr, like that and flicked round, as if to say, I know what I'm doing. It was horrendous.
Did they by any chance put some emotional swelling music underneath it to make you feel like she was making an emotional choice?
Because they have to drown out the sound of Attenborough and the camera going,
Don't worry, I'll finish it off. You take the other one.
It would be.
I've got a
genuinely.
shovel here. I'll sort it out. Don't worry, you fly off. It's like sandwich spread by the time he's finished. And again, David, stop now!
Stop it!
Let's have a look and see if it's up there.
Yay!
Yes, the nation's favourite TV programme to David Amber's wildlife shows. John's team, what do you think?
I bet it's Top Gear, innit?
Yep.
People like...
Yes, of course.
It'll be those three.
Yeah.
They're basically the twat in the pub, and then one day 3 pubs all closed, and they had to go in the car park. One of them filmed it on their mobile, and it just became...
genius! Top Gear, I used to watch when I was a teenage girl, and that is exactly why I'm a lesbian. Put me off Men for Life, that programme did.
Then I'm a lesbian too.
Yes, we're all lesbians tonight, John.
Yeah.
Mel? And me. Good.
They have to shout because what they're saying is dull. You know, in films, the most exciting lines, they whisper. So, like, if you've got a really good script, you just have to go, if you come round here again giving it that, I'm going to cut your head off. Right? But they have to shout, because if you just said, this is the new Ford Fiesta 1.2 diesel, no one will watch it, but they go, this is the new 1.2! And you're watching it, this is amazing. And then if you watched it written down, you think, oh, you just showed me a car.
You've been on the show.
I love Top Gear. I love anything to do with engines, but there are a lot of people in the world who are emotionally attached to their vehicles.
I love starring a reasonably priced car. I think that's a really good feature. I watched that repeatedly when Helen Mirren was on. That was absolutely fantastic.
Not enough crashes.
I don't like the way that Jeremy Clarkson ends every sentence like that. Every sentence on the show, he ends with a thing at the end.
That's how people from Doncaster talk. He's from Doncaster, and if you go to Doncaster, that's how they... Yeah, welcome to Doncaster.
Is he?
That's the Doncaster accent. Or that, or he's a bullshitting charlatan without a personality.
He's a bullshitting charlatan without a personality.
You know his cock's made of denim.
I mean, we're living Clarkson our time. Let's remember, there are 3 dicks.
There are.
Richard Hammond, his appearance is phenomenal. He looks like he's getting groomed on the internet by Noel Edmonds.
Let's have a look and see if Top Gear's up there. Yes, Top Gear is the nation's second favourite TV show. Sean's team.
It's got to be like along the reality lines, like Come Dine With Me and stuff like that.
Never seen an episode in my life.
Really?
No way!
Ostensibly, it's about cooking, but really it's about nosing around other people's houses.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's going to be a whole generation of people who don't realise that it's not OK to go to a dinner party and go through someone's knicker drawer.
Shall we have a little look? I'm going to treat you to a little look at Come Dine With Me.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh, it's day 3 and the turn of roadkill connoisseur Alison Brearley.
I'm a bit more confident about beating Matt. They had all the fireworks, but ultimately, we're not eating fireworks.
No, but Emma probably wishes you were.
It'll be really interesting tonight to see what she cooks. Slightly anxious.
You should be.
This is a selection of what you can find on our roads in England. It's all free food. It's absolutely amazing.
So the pheasant will be used for Alison's roadkill pie starter.
I can't see myself eating roadkill. I just can't see it. I can't see it. You know, I'll be gagging.
It's a shame she's not got beaver on the menu, because I must admit I do like eating beaver.
Definitely second that. Beaver should be on the menu at any dinner party.
I imagine looking at that man, it's a delicacy for him.
It's a delicacy.
I don't imagine he's getting it 3 times a day, put it that way.
It's not the worst thing I've seen on Come Dine With Me. Do you want to hear some of the incredible recipes people have presented to their guests?
Yes.
OK. Sausage trifle. Oh, trifle consisting of sponge, custard and sausages.
Sausage trifle sounds like something that would happen in a gay sauna.
Was the sausage trifle, was that Peter Stringfellow's?
No,
he did it.
Peter Stringfellow went on Come Dine With Me. He made olive oil ice cream. So he added olive oil to vanilla ice cream and served it with pepper tuna.
Oh.
You know, like people don't.
I've lived in my flat now for 9 years and no one has ever come round for dinner. It's because I've got 3 cats and I let them lie on the table and I feed them with my mouth like Lady and the Tramp. And essentially I'm French kissing a cat, and apparently some people don't enjoy that while they're eating. So Come Dine With Me, to me, it's like, it's fiction. To me, I watch it and I say, oh, that's what normal people without cats do.
But when you feed them, Susan, do you...
Deep fry it first?
Do you... No, do you regurgitate the food that you've already had?
I'm regurgitating my food just listening to it.
Like
a mother
I'm
bird.
not like a bird because they're carnivores and it helps their teeth. So you just take a little bit of steak in your mouth and you just go, come on, Pickle. And then she takes out and you go, thank you, Pickle. And then you take a bit and then you give the cat a bit and then you take a bit. What the fuck is wrong with that?
How do you feed them soup?
Well, I can tell you Come Dine With Me isn't in the top 3. It actually came 4th. One thing still to get, fingers on buzzers.
Doctor Who.
Doctor
People
Who.
love Doctor Who, don't they?
Yeah, I love
yeah.
I've never seen it, but people love it.
Doctor Who is basically James Bond for people who don't drink or like cake.
I'll tell you what I think about Doctor Who.
What?
Right. Well, the TARDIS is a police phone box. Now, it was created in an era where they were everywhere.
Yeah.
They're quite unusual now. They really stand out. If he wanted, that was on every street corner. If he wants to travel around in something that's on every street corner, really, the TARDIS should be a branch of Chicken Cottage.
That's a very good point. You never look twice at a chicken cottage. You know, you
wouldn't notice it. But a police phone box, you go, what the hell's that? And you go, what's going on in there? You couldn't leave it for a second. People go, what is this thing? You know, there's other inconsistencies in Doctor Who, I must admit.
That is the main one.
What annoys me about Doctor Who is all the stuff in it is basically they've just come up with a gizmo to get round plots that they couldn't get out of. So, like, all the sonic screwdrivers, just so they get to the end of the episode and they go, oh, how does he get out of that? Oh, the thing works and it has a button that... It's crap. Vera Drake wouldn't end with them going, oh, the police have come. Oh, yeah, but she can fly, so she just gets away. When you're really into the emotion of something, it needs to be reality, doesn't it?
It is real. And the sonic screwdriver, I bought one for Christmas last year.
That wasn't a sonic screwdriver and you know it.
I used to be scared of... I used to hide behind the sofa watching Doctor Who in the 70s, and I realise now it should have been Jim Will Fix It.
Do you remember the... I can't remember what her name was. She was a massive...
Oh, I know the one, yeah.
She was a massive...
It's bad when a sentence starts, do you remember that? I don't remember that.
She was a massive spider. She was one of the baddies, and she attached herself onto your back, thus rendering your legs and feet stuck to the ground. Do you remember her? And then you went, buddy ominum, buddy ominum. Do you remember that?
Was it in Doctor Who or a bad dream you had?
The Daleks are in Doctor Who, aren't they? The Daleks.
Yes. We love the Daleks.
Devoid of all emotion, except hate. They're like Piers Morgan on wheels.
I mean, there was a flaw with the Daleks the first time around.
What was the flaw?
The flaw basically was that they couldn't climb stairs. So if you lived in anything with a first or second story, they
could just get away.
Exterminate
Of course,
you.
yeah, but if they come back now, because of the wheelchair access we put in, we're all in trouble.
True.
Chris, do you watch it? Do you watch Doctor Who?
I tried. It was one of the things I remember at one point everyone was like, oh, it's amazing. I think it was the first time it sort of came back and got a big kind of...
Yeah, Christopher Eccleston was like a big deal, wasn't
Yeah, and it was like, well, that was... I remember the Christopher Eccleston thing. I remember the advert where they showed the Dalek floating up the stairs.
Oh, yeah.
But I tried. I really tried to watch it and I was so disappointed.
Elevate! Elevate! No, but that's what they... That was the trick.
But they talk about all the...
Let's have a look and see if Doctor Who is up there.
It's got to be.
Yes, Doctor Who is third on our list of favourite shows. People say the show's not realistic, but I think it is. It's featured 11 different doctors, and I've never seen a single one of them washing their hands. So, those were the nation's favourite TV shows. But The Only Way is Essex came 16th. At the start of each episode of Towie, a disclaimer is read out stating that some scenes have been created for your entertainment. Well, none that I've seen. 10th on the list was X Factor. Every year, the X Factor finalists release a charity single to help the poverty-stricken and destitute. This year, it's in aid of Matt Cardle. And Strictly Come Dancing came 12th on our poll. The surprise star of last series was Lisa Riley. She put her success down to being double-jointed. At every meal, she has beef and lamb. So at the end of that round, John's team have 1 point, Sean's team have 2 points. So the winner is the name of our final round. Here is your question. The worst thing about fancy dress parties?
Everything.
Come on.
There's nothing good about someone saying, come round to my house, but don't look or act like yourself. Try and cover your personality in every way possible. And then you can't go for a piss because you've got a friggin' 8 rolls of bog roll because you've come as a mummy. If you go in costume, you feel like a dick because you're saying, look at me, look at me. If you don't go in costume, you feel like a dick because you're going, oh, look at me, I don't want to do it. They're just horrendous.
You do surprise me, John.
I know. And then at the end of that, everyone's pissed and you see a fight and it scars you for life because you've seen Wonder Woman kicking the shit out of Albert Einstein.
Carol, do you like a fancy dress party?
I love a fancy dress party.
What's the best outfit you've ever rocked?
Well, when I had my last big fancy dress party, oh, it was fantastic.
You host?
Yeah.
Oh, you host them. I love that.
Yeah, 70s was fantastic.
Amazing.
I had an afro wig that was that big and a little toga thing and some very high silver boots. And it was, we had the blast. It was fabulous.
I really enjoyed that party. It was brilliant.
No,
I wasn't invited.
No,
but
I know.
Do you like a fancy dress?
Best outfit ever, I went as Caiaphas, who's the high priest in the Bible, who got Judas to betray Jesus. Caiaphas, the high priest.
Yeah. And sometimes goes Caiaphas.
And my husband went as Annas, so we were the 2 high priests.
Your husband went as Annas?
Yep, it was a Jesus Christ Superstar-themed fancy dress party. We drove across London as Caiaphas and Annas.
In character? Did you...?
Totally in character. Always in character.
What were we in? Chariot?
No, black tights, skin tight, both of us. I'd spent a lot of time on this, egg boxes fashioned into jewels to go as a sort of tabard in the middle of our bare stomachs.
Fab.
Then a black cloak and a huge onion domed hat. Both of us had them, full stubble, and we sang Jesus Christ Superstar as we went across London.
Yeah. Marvellous.
It was amazing. Jesus of Nazareth, miracle wonder man, hero of fools. No riot, no army, no fighting, no slogan. One thing I'll say for him, Jesus is cool. We did that all across London.
The worst thing about a fancy dress party, it's something that I suspect John would do if he ever got invited to a fancy dress party.
Secretly be delighted.
Not wear the costume.
Yeah. That's the great answer. I have my suspicions, John, I'm sorry. Yes, the worst thing about fancy dress parties is people who don't dress up. I went to a fancy dress party as a pirate. I legally copied all their DVDs. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are John, Mel and Susan have 1 point, Sean, Chris and Carol have 3 points. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and to all of you for watching at home. If you want more, tune in to 8 Out of 10 Cats Uncut on Wednesday. That's it from us. Good night.